Welcome to an all-new episode of GVN Sports, the show where we only focus on basketball. We don't really give a shit about anything else. Even though that is not true, Joel loves his football, and I do love some baseball, you know, when the Mets are good, and they're really good this year, so I'm talking my shit out here. But we focus here on football and basketball. That's where we specialize there. But before we get into a bunch of our topics, let me introduce my co-host, starting off with Didge. What's up, Didge?
What's up? Ready to talk some sports? I've missed a lot of sports talk over this past weekend, so I need to catch up.
Yes, and I cannot wait to get you all caught up, because there's a whole bunch of shit that should matter that did, shit that does matter that didn't. There's just, you know the sports world. But what's up, Joel? Loving the Giants hat. That's the first time I think on this show you've worn the Giants hat, I think.
That is not true. But
really?
We can pretend like it is.
Because I swear to God, I felt like it's always the Knicks hat. I remember the last time.
Usually it's the Knicks hat, but I've definitely worn.
We play you guys this week, so boo.
Boo. I can't wait to fight you for half a quarter.
Right? for the first three series, and then don't care anymore.
But wait, where'd the starters go?
hey. The way I've been hearing about our practices, that motherfucker might need three. he might need three quarters. Might need 3 quarters.
Same here.
But let's say, you know what? Let's start with basketball. Let's start with basketball first. There's a few things there because this football thing is gonna give me a migraine. So let's end on that.
I'm gonna get anxiety.
Yes, let's start off with obviously the biggest story that it seems like will continue to be the biggest story until either we stop caring about basketball or something just gives, right? And that is the fact that Kevin Durant had a sit down with Joe Tsai.
Mm-hmm.
And he essentially told him, hey, I was dead ass about that trade. He's like, and to double down on it, you got to kind of get rid of your head coach and your GM, and then I'll stay. Right?
I don't like that they call their owner the governor or whatever they call him. I didn't like. I saw that. I was like, who is this guy? And I realized it was the owner. And I was like, oh, why are they calling him this?
And Mike, I sent in the Discord the tweet that Joe Tsai put up. Joe Tsai did respond, essentially saying that he chooses to back his coach and his GM, and they will do what is in the best interest of the Nets. Now, if I'm Steve Nash and Sean Marks, first thing I'm saying to each other is, hey, he did not say that our jobs were safe. Like, he essentially just said, hey, I like those guys, and we're going to do whatever we need to win. I have to imagine losing Kevin Durant doesn't really help wins, right? So part of me kind of feels as though this will come down right to the wire, and he'll go, I got to sell tickets. I don't really know if Ben Simmons can do that on his own. I really think Durant is the way I sell tickets. I'm going to go ahead and fire both of them, or at least one of them, right? It's like, hey, Durant, meet me in the middle. I'll get rid of Nash. I'm not getting rid of both of these guys. So, yes, our front office and coaching staff have my support. We will make decisions in the best interest of the Brooklyn Nets. That don't tell me nothing.
That tells you absolutely zero.
That very much could lend in Durant smiling or Steve Nash crying or vice versa. Like, that does not answer anything. So my question to you is, Didge, because I know a lot of analysts have been saying all day today, you don't give in to the player, you stand tall, and it's like, that's all good, right? But at the end of the day, as an owner, your job is to create revenue, right? Create revenue and create winning. I kind of feel like giving in to trading Durant takes one of those away. And then trading Durant and essentially saying now the team is Kyrie and Ben Simmons, that does not help your winning either. So I'm like, I have to imagine the boardroom of the Nets is looking at this like, well, you know what you have to do, right? Like, you know you got to go call Nash and Sean Marks and tell them to fuck off, right? Like, that's your only option here. So how do you see this, Didge? Do you believe that Joe Tsai should give in to Durant or hold strong?
I kind of think you have to hold strong. Like, let's say you give in to Durant, you fire him. Are you just now? Then are you telling Durant, well, you can help pick our next coach and GM? Because truthfully, yes, again. But if you don't, who's to say he doesn't? Well, I don't like who you hired. I still want out. So it's like, and then what gives you the confidence of getting anybody, I guess, good? Because why would I want to go to a team where your guy who, what we said he had, 2 years left?
No, Durant, 4.
Is it 4? Oh, okay, well, that's a little bit longer. That's a
4.
little bit longer.
4.
But either way, he's not going to be there forever. So you kind of have to, unless you think the coach and GM, that one switch is giving you a championship this year, you kind of got to think long term for your team.
Mm-hmm.
And there's still too many variables of if Durant's going to want to get out anyway, if this is just going to appease him for now, and then say they don't make they don't win the championship this year, or they lose in such a heartbreaking fashion again. It's, well, you didn't pick the right guy, and I still want out. Right. So it's like you just make it look like you're going to always bend to that, and you don't want to do that.
Well, also, to me, the biggest problem I have is I pass it to you, Joel, that if I'm the Brooklyn Nets, I'm standing tall because I think Durant's full of shit. Here's why. When he first came out saying that he wanted to be traded, he didn't come out and say, I wanted to be traded unless you fire Steve Nash and Sean Marks. He just said, I wanted to be traded. So it's like, well, what, is this something you just now came to? Because if this is your problem from the beginning, we could have maybe handled that behind closed doors. I fire Nash. It looks like we're moving on from somebody who clearly isn't competent enough to coach in the NBA, which is fine. Not everybody is. We watch Derek Fisher. Like, we legit experience Derek Fisher. Shit sometimes isn't cracked up for everybody, right?
It's also his first go-around, too.
That's the other thing. Yeah, they hired very, very, well, I guess you can't necessarily say young coaches, but they're not coaches who...
He's never coached before.
He's never coached before.
I mean, Steve Kerr didn't.
Yeah, but Jason Kidd didn't. Now he's a better coach than he was when he first started.
And Steve Kerr stepped into a dream situation.
Yeah. Right, but also the point I'm making is I believe that some people just aren't suited to be a head coach. I don't think if I put Derek Fisher with the Golden State, he could have turned out the same thing Steve Kerr just did over the course of 2 years.
So you trust that Steve Kerr would have made us champions, is what you're saying?
That Steve Kerr would have made us champions? I believe Steve Kerr would have done a way better job.
It's not the same thing.
Way better job than Derek Fisher did.
When he got fired from Milwaukee, that was the rhetoric that he can't coach.
See, my problem with that was I never felt like Jason Kidd did a bad job. I kind of just felt like people were expecting things to move a lot quicker, right? And it was more so like, okay, this is more of a learning curve.
Great job.
No, I didn't think he did a horrible job. I'm just saying, to me, I don't think Giannis was as prominent as he is today. So it was more so like a learning curve. It was growing with him, right? So I'm like, if Giannis was back then what he is right now, I think Jason Kidd would have the same success he just did with Luka. That's all I'm saying. So I think that was more of a growing point of Giannis and Jason Kidd together. I didn't even think Jason Kidd did a horrible job in Brooklyn. Outside of the whole Ice Capade incident, I didn't think he did a horrible job there. So I'm like, at least there were signs of like, okay, I see what you're trying to do. Maybe it just didn't work out. Happens. I'm watching Steve Nash literally essentially run no plays. It's give it to Durant and Kyrie and just figure it out.
Keep in mind who he's coaching.
That's also true. I think.
Yeah, but I watch Golden State run plays.
Golden State is a well-oiled machine that listens to their coach.
You could also make an argument they ran plays in OKC.
That would play a second practice after the coaches practice with Kyrie running the practice. That is not the right way to run things. That is why there's a conflict. I can't give. Nash is still not a great coach. That he's not. I'm not going to say he's a bad coach forever because of it.
No, I just believe I have not seen anything from Nash that would lead me to believe that in a better situation he would do anything better. That's all I'm saying.
I think it's because he didn't get thrown into the greatest situation, but it's also being thrown directly into coaching as a head coach. Whereas most of these players former players who end up becoming good head coaches.
Yes, look at that. I can't coach for shit, Durant. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
But
Look at that.
I think it's because getting thrown directly into head coaching, whereas most coaches who, when they become head coaches, you do an assistant job first, or you're on someone's bench before you just get thrown right into head coaching.
Assistant coach. You go through the normal coaches. They assist first.
Yeah.
Jason Kidd coach, and then became an assistant for like a couple of years, and now is coaching again.
Right.
Just like Ty Lue. I didn't think Ty Lue was the best coach for a long time. He looks pretty good now. Nah, it's a good roster there. You know what I mean? But look what he had to do. A lot of injuries. That team is pretty good. He's gotten better. So Steve Nash, this is his first go around as a coach.
Yeah, he's been
in a really bad situation.
He's been Brooklyn's coach for 2 years, right?
They wanted that too. That's who they wanted,
right?
So they can run free.
But that's why, yes, exactly. It was a first-time coach who has zero experience. I think he was like in the scouting office or something for
Golden State. Yeah.
So
no, he was not a. I didn't even know
coach. It was
he was something for Golden State.
It was like a consultancy.
Yeah.
It wasn't even coaching. Right. So they're looking at it as, yes, you played basketball, so you know generally the game of basketball. You played it at a very high level.
You were a lead point guard.
Yeah.
The rumor had it that he got the job because Kyrie was a big fan of Steve Nash's. Right? He was a fan of Steve Nash, and he also felt as though he won't offer a lot of resistance for just whatever I want to do. Right? So that's what I'm saying. I didn't think it was again, Brooklyn in this whole situation, everything they got was by somebody else. It was not a Brooklyn decision, right? I believe that Kyrie and Durant said, I'm going here. And they just said, okay. And then once they got there, I want Nash. And they were just like, okay.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it was more so like I think this guy is best suited for the job. They were more so just like, I'm not going to argue with Kyrie and Durant. They want the guy. Fuck it. They can have the guy. Right?
Yep.
That's all I'm saying. Right. Well, right. So to me, Joel, do you think Brooklyn should hold still, or do you think that they should bend to the will and just keep this guy because it's their best chance to win anything going forward? And remember, this is an organization that has lost a lot of picks, right? So it's like you can't necessarily sell Durant for parts, right? And just go, let me collect draft capital.
Well, they can't. They're never going to get back what they want for Durant because you're not going to get Durant back, unfortunately, for Durant. Mm-hmm. That's just not plausible. You got to be more realistic. And I think this is just him calling them out, basically. He's like, y'all dragging your feet for something that's not realistic. Take the best offer you guys can get, which is a good offer. I'm pretty sure they can get a good package, regardless of what it is.
And really quickly, Joel, I'll throw this in. Remember how everyone was saying, like, oh, my God, if you're the Nuggets, you're giving up Melo for all these ancillary pieces, right? I think people forget those ancillary pieces won 50 games. So it's like if you're telling me I'm getting rid of Durant, right? But I'm adding in Jaylen Brown, Derek White, was it Greg Williams? I think it's Greg Williams. Maybe Marcus Smart if you squeeze them hard enough. Yeah. I'm like, that could assemble into something, right? I'm not saying you win a championship with it, but who knows if that can't solidify. Because if Jaylen Brown ascends, which I believe if he's not playing alongside Jason Tatum, he might have a really good chance to. If he's on his own, he could ascend, right, into becoming a superstar. So I'm like, it's not like somebody saying, hey, take Obi Toppin for Durant. Like, no one's saying that. We're saying, like, we're putting together a lot of really good pieces, whether it's the Golden State offer or the Celtics offer or Brian Windhorst throwing out the New Orleans Pelicans offer. I'm like, you could put together a lot of really – because if someone tells me, hey, you're giving up Durant, but I'm giving you back Brandon Ingram, I'm not looking at that like, well, there's no fucking way I could win games with Brandon Ingram. Why would you think that? Like, again, no, it's not getting Durant back. You're muted, Joel. It's not getting Durant back, but again, it's not getting nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you should just take whatever the best offer is.
Yeah.
And move on.
I think Boston, New Orleans, Toronto, they have probably the best packages without killing themselves.
Yeah. They had. I was just looking at their picks. I know, obviously, I knew they had given up a lot. They have more than I thought they had.
Who? Boston?
They're not the Lakers, but they still don't have a strength of draft capital.
I mean, yeah, they have 2 first rounds next year. I didn't know they had that.
Well, unless you give up Durant, we're made to believe that doesn't really amount to
Fair.
to
You think it's gonna be a later?
Yeah, those
Right.
picks, if you got Durant, those picks don't mean shit really. But
Yeah.
One of them is Houston. One of them is Houston or Philly.
Well, the
Houston-
Philly one won't mean shit. And the
Houston's
Houston one, I think Houston could be a nice dark horse to do exactly what Minnesota did last year.
I mean,
I think they can.
Obviously, in terms of a trade, it doesn't mean anything because if you're giving up Kevin Durant, you're not giving up any draft picks with it.
100%.
So that, I guess, for that point, it's moot. But I was just curious after you were saying like, yeah, they don't have a lot of draft picks. What does it matter though? I guess in terms of a rebuild, I guess it matters.
No, I meant that more so in the sense of they can't rebuild. Like they just sell all parts for draft capital, right? At that point, it's just like, well, that's stupid. So that's what I meant in regards to the draft picks. I'm like, well, now you're player hunting. The draft picks don't really mean all that much to you. You're player hunting. And there is no player in the NBA that is available that is Kevin Durant worthy, right? So at that point, you got to go, well, what's the tier below it? What's the realistic tier below a Durant-esque? And that's the offers that you have sitting on your desk. And those are the offers that you should be looking at.
And if that trade ever actually goes down, that could reset the market for Donovan Mitchell. Because then you're like, oh, well, this is what they got for Durant, which is like almost on par with what they got with Rudy Gobert, which sucks, but that resets the market. You know what I mean? That was an overpay to the ridiculous matters.
We will look back at that Rudy Gobert thing, and I think I might hate Minnesota for the rest of my fucking life. Like, it's just like, bro, why did you jump so early? And I believe they jumped early because it was made to believe that Utah at the time had no interest in trading Rudy or Donovan unless someone was stupid, right? Unless someone was just like, hey, I'll give you my soul for Rudy Gobert. And it's like, your soul? Like I wasn't even thinking somebody would offer that, but okay, sure, I'll take it.
I wouldn't give up our soul for that, so you can have it.
So it's like they unfortunately set the market because they were drastically desperate, right?
Yeah.
And here's the difference. If you're the Knicks and you're trading everything to get Donovan is just he's just a more valued player than Rudy Gobert, right? So you could at least look at that and go, well, at least Donovan can turn a lot of his scoring into wins, right? You look at Rudy and you go, Rudy is you look at Rudy the same way you looked at Ibaka back then, right? To where you're like, he's obviously a piece of that puzzle. That motherfucker is never the board you build.
A little higher than Ibaka. Ibaka was just a role player at that point.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm sorry. What is Rudy Gobert?
An all-star.
I get you, but he's an all-star. He's the equivalent of an all-star role player. Like to me, an all-star is somebody that I could put right in the middle and go, take me home. Rudy Gobert is 100%.
He's a defensive also, like Ben, what's his name? Big Ben. Back in the day, he wasn't
Ben
offensive.
Wallace.
Ben Wallace.
No, you're absolutely right. But Ben could get you 30.
Ben Wallace can get you 30?
He's not somebody that you ask to do that every night, of course. No, I'm not.
Watch a very, very different Ben Wallace.
Ben's never had a 30-point game.
Ben Wallace?
I'm about to look up his career high. I honestly don't think so.
Ben Wallace?
Ben Wallace, yes.
Not Rasheed Wallace.
No, Ben.
Look it up.
I'm looking it up right now. His career high.
What did he even average?
His career high is 23.
23? He's only ever... Are you talking average, or that's
his career? That's his career high points.
Yeah, he's only...
Wow.
That's
well, that's not that far from
what was he averaging?
And say 45.
But you said that he's never even got you 30.
I would have assumed he at least got 31.
That game went into overtime because he played 48 minutes.
There you go.
A little over 48 minutes. That
game
went into overtime.
That's fair.
Crazy.
That's fair.
That's crazy.
That's fair.
But
didn't Ibaka make an All-Star game?
That I also don't know. I can look real quick.
The fact that it doesn't come to us right away is not a good sign.
It's not. And then after that, I'll get back to you, Joel.
I mean, it's been so long. So that's the only difference.
I think he led the league in blocks.
Also, we're gonna get off the Serge Ibaka slander. He's a Buck, so we're gonna
leave that alone. I mean, look, if the Bucks use him, I'd be very excited for you guys.
He did not go to an All-Star game. He's
never been to an All-Star game.
He has a 3-time All-Defensive first team though.
There you go.
Yeah, that's not shocking. But I thought he went to an All-Star game once.
I thought so too, to be honest.
Yeah, that's really fucking weird.
He was a good role player. I think he led the league in blocks a couple times. Probably.
Ben Wallace's points per game average for his career is 5.7.
5.7. What's Rudy's? Don't you fucking laugh at that. What's Rudy's?
Let me look it
Pull up Rudy's.
30 if you wanted it to.
That was
Pull up
funny.
Rudy's.
15.6. Oh, 12.4 for his career.
12.4?
In his career. And
Is Rudy Gobert?
15, right?
Yeah.
I think he averaged 15 last year.
He averaged 15.6.
Holy shit.
You just don't give him credit.
Just
But
what we're,
I tell you this right now. I'm watching every fucking Timberwolves game, and this motherfucker better turn into Shaq
and while we're
for
talking
what they had to
career
give up
highs,
to get this motherfucker.
while we're talking career highs, his career high in points is 35.
What fucking game was that?
Let's see. It was during the 2016.
Was that Pro-Am?
2016-2017 season? They played the Dallas Mavericks.
Wow.
There was no Luka, so that makes sense. Okay, I can understand that. Yeah, there was no Luka back then. Yeah, Dirk was done.
Oh yeah, Nico is an all defensive
Dirk
player.
was done. Yeah,
Hilarious.
Dirk was
That
done.
game also went to overtime.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. I can 100% believe that. There's no shock
But
there.
he has multiple.
There's
He has
no shock
multiple
there.
30-point games though. So there's that.
Multiple 30-point games?
Yeah.
Who the fuck did the
He has-
scouting report on this motherfucker
He has
for those
3,
games?
but 3 is multiple.
3 is multiple. I'm not arguing that, but who the fuck was scouting on this motherfucker? This motherfucker, that's like if you told me DeAndre Jordan had like 3 30-point games. How the fuck he do that? He just jumps.
He actually might have more than that because I'm looking at career high by season. It does career highs and it's by season. So he has 3 seasons where his high is at least 30.
Oh, okay.
So he might have more in those seasons.
Gotcha. He better fucking not. Goodness, I lose faith in the NBA. God damn. You serious? This motherfucker lives off alley oops. How many times are you letting him do that?
Tyson Chandler did the
Goodness
same thing.
gracious.
Tyson
Yeah.
Chandler didn't do the same thing.
Yeah, but you can make an argument that's a little different. Melo takes a lot of focus away. Lot of focus.
Donovan Mitchell doesn't take focus away.
That's a good point.
No, not like Melo did. That's totally different.
Man,
Totally
how
different.
much he average a game, Donovan Mitchell? 25?
I like that. Hey, Mike, do me a favor. Find one of those where it's this exact same picture, but he's in a Knicks jersey.
Yeah,
I like
20,
this.
20
Don't
or
do
24,
that. They'll jinx it. Don't do
24
it.
for his career, but he
Dude.
averaged 26 last year.
Who, Donovan?
Yeah,
You said wait. Say it again. I'm sorry. I heard the
24 for
26.
24 for the career, 26 last year.
Like,
Okay.
that's pretty good.
Solid. So I mean, to me, going back to what we were saying to finish up that topic before we move on.
Or your blasphemous comment about Ben Wallace. There it is.
Yeah, that was
I'm 100% shocked. 100%.
So am I. That was the
100%.
craziest thing ever in a while.
100% shocked.
I can't
No,
believe-
I'm shocked he has not had a 30-point game.
hilarious, right?
100% shocked.
I wonder if he's the only
He's
Hall
not
of
a
Famer who's
scorer.
never had.
He never was. That's my thing. That's like that was never his thing.
No, I get it, but he seemed like a player that, if needed, he could. It's just he was never needed to
I don't
do
know.
so.
If apparently,
they
he couldn't.
needed him to do it a couple times. He's not a scorer.
When?
He gave you 20 rebounds for sure.
For
5
sure.
blocks.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
okay, I
right.
get what you're saying, but we're not going to make it sound like either of those motherfuckers are scorers. That was my point.
I
My
mean,
point was,
compared to
I'm
Ben Wallace,
shocked.
Rudy Gobert is.
Well, again,
The jinx
without
him, he makes-
knowing that,
Yeah,
I had no fucking idea, right? No fucking idea. That's not what you think of when you think of scoring. Like Ben Simmons might be the only
No,
player
he's
I
not-
look at and I
but-
go, yeah, I could see that for Ben Simmons for sure.
I don't see Rudy Gobert as a scorer either. I'm just saying he's a better scorer. I'm not saying he is a scorer. I don't look at him and say that's an offensive juggernaut right there. You know what I mean?
Well,
No,
shit.
you'd be-
You listen,
you'd be wild
what
to do
Ditch
that.
just said. I mean, he has potential to be. Fuck. Fuck.
That
Apparently,
was-
it's in his arsenal.
That was wild, to be honest. I didn't expect either of those.
I guess I overvalued Ben and undervalued Rudy Gobert. Is apparently what just happened.
Well, to
But
be
still,
fair, you do hate hard when you hate.
I don't hate either one of those guys. I don't hate Rudy
I'm not saying
Gobert.
I didn't say you obviously love Ben Wallace more than I expected.
Right.
Oh, I was a huge fan of Ben Wallace. That I will not lie about. But again, it was 23. That's not that far off. I thought you were gonna say like 15 or
Also,
something.
Ever. That's the highest he's ever had, though. That's
Yeah, that's-
Yes,
also-
but that's not far from me saying I thought he at least once got
you
30.
said he can give you 30 if he.
Hey,
needs
guess who?
to.
And you
I'm
said
sorry.
24.
It wasn't just overtime. It was double overtime.
That Ben did it, or
Yes.
that Rudy did it?
No, that Ben
That
did it.
Ben did it.
It was against the Knicks.
Well, there you go. That's how he was able to do it.
I probably watched that game. What year
But
was
the
it?
fact that it was 2010.
Yeah, definitely.
Wait,
did that.
Was that the Big Five? They still had the Big Five?
Let me look.
No, in 2010,
No.
Detroit was already done by that because that
Yeah,
was
no.
our rise. That was the beginning of our rise.
Oh yeah, that was the beginning. Oh yeah, we had Rashid, we had the Chauncey for a hot second.
We just got Melo.
yeah.
That is insane, though.
Yeah, 'cause Chauncey was already in Denver.
A
Yeah,
we got-
double
we
overtime
got-
game.
That's so sad. That was man. I remember that was like Iverson was in Detroit.
Those are interesting times.
I remember Ben went to Chicago. Ben Wallace in Chicago was weird. Ben Wallace in
I
Cleveland.
remember those years. Yeah, those were both weird.
Playing 2K was weird. Like, yo, you ready to play as Iverson in Memphis? Memphis? The fuck did that happen?
That was awkward too.
It's like it happened, bro. You playing? It's like, no, I don't want
I
to.
always
Hell
wanted
no.
Iverson's crazy ass to fall in New York and never happened. I'm like, damn it, that would have been cool.
It would have been. I won't argue that. Yeah, so that wasn't the Big Five. So that's even more interesting. 23.
Oh, he almost had 30 in the playoffs once.
Yeah, look at that.
Is Rudy?
He had
That's his bitch
29.
ass?
He had 29 in a playoff game. Let me look.
Oh, I mean, well then, come on, guys.
Let me look at Rudy.
Like,
Gobert.
come on, man.
That's his playoff career high.
Come on. Come on.
Rudy Gobert has not.
Fuck you, Rudy. Fuck you, Rudy. There we go. Look at that. You just need patience and numbers, right? And everything comes full circle. I feel
Did it come
vindicated.
full circle?
It did.
That is
I-
not vindicated.
Again, my statement was not Ben Wallace averaged 30. My statement was he's at least gotten 30.
But he hasn't.
You said
He
he
had
can
29.
give you like the man. Like I can give you 30
He
if I
can at
turn it
least
up.
give you
He
30.
never
Yeah.
was
But
that
he-
guy.
but he's
offensively.
never
He got
giving you
29
30.
in the game. He got 29 in the game. He
Which
missed
is
a free
not
throw.
He probably did miss a free throw.
He missed a free throw. That's all it came down to. Every big was missing free throws.
Yeah.
It happens. It happens.
Oh,
It happens.
shit. John is
My vocabulary is nowhere near that good, Mike. I will not accept that. But yeah, so I mean, like I said, I think if you're Brooklyn, you're just stuck in a situation to where it's just like, fuck it, man. Hey, don't play for a season. Fuck you want to do. And then guess what?
He called the bluff, and I think that was on his part. I think it was smart because now it makes them kind of look a little foolish, and now it puts pressure on them because right now there was no pressure. They didn't give a fuck. Like we're gonna keep him till play. They figured he would not fight it, so he's gonna come to camp. He's gonna play whatever. We'll just keep balking at whatever offers come our way. And he's like, all right, I dare you. Now we're gonna put some pressure on that ass.
To me, I feel as though if I'm Brooklyn, I don't feel that pressure. I'm putting it right back on you. All right, guess what? I'm not going to trade. And guess what? Are you going to sit out for a season? I don't mind. I don't have to pay you.
I don't
mind.
That's not the case.
I don't mind.
Like,
No, if you sit-
I'm hurt. Oh, he could do a Kawhi Leonard thing if you want. This is actually that's what it could turn into if it gets that bad.
Yeah.
Hey,
We don't want it to.
do it.
We don't want it to.
Do it. Do it. You know what? This is why I thank the heavens I'm not an owner. Because I swear to God, I would go, well, you better fake that shit for 4 years. You better fake the fuck out of it for 4 years.
I mean, you're
Guess
just
what?
wasting
I'm
your
not trading
money
you.
and your time. And
I'm not trading
that's why I wouldn't do it. I mean, I would definitely trade it as because
I'm not
again,
giving
I'm
you
very
this
much a
shit.
person that I don't want you there if you don't want to be there. That's 100% the kind of person.
I just also don't want it, and like it, and he's reversed the leverage, right? Because it's like, yes, I'm with you, but guess what I would do, Joel? Send his ass to Sacramento. Problem is, if you're Sacramento and you give up all that leverage, you now are worrying, will he stay here, right? So now I have to send you where you'll be good. I don't want to do that. When Pop sent Kawhi to fucking Toronto, that motherfucker never dreamed he'd win a championship. That was the worst nightmare, right? That was the worst case scenario. I send you somewhere, year one, you win the championship. That was a massive fuck.
That's why it's a scary.
There's no way he thought Toronto wouldn't be good.
No, good, sure. Win a championship? They ran the gauntlet that year, Didge. They ran the fucking gauntlet.
Trust me. I know, trust me. They beat us in the conference finals. I remember that.
They ran, and you know what? Wait, Joel, really quickly, because you were potting with me, and you are my witness. I know you remember this. Didge, I hated Giannis that year. Because if there's one thing Jawan hates in the NBA, and I do not hate many things in the NBA, it is fucking Kyle Lowry. You made me sit there and watch this little piece of shit go to the NBA Finals, and I'm sitting there like, well,
not just go.
Win it, win it, Didge.
I mean,
Giannis could do one thing.
He hates Kyle Lowry for no reason.
No, I hate Kyle Lowry because he's overrated. That's why I hate Kyle Lowry.
Fucking karma. That's what that ended
up. That's why I hate Kyle Lowry.
All that
shit is kind of overrated. But
that's all I'm saying, Didge. Thank you.
Now,
I don't know. Over his career, he's overrated.
I can't subscribe to the notion that Pop didn't think that Toronto could take the next step because they were in the semifinals the year before. LeBron was gone by the time he got traded.
Time out. Hold on. The biggest difference is Toronto, I believe, went to the conference finals because the East at that point was just bare. It was bare. But right? It was like LeBron versus the world. Like,
he went to the semifinals that year, and they were I think they might have been the number one seed that year.
Might have been.
Toronto have been consistently good for the last couple of years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Toronto had been that. I mean, they had been consistently decent. Obviously, with the peak being the championship year. So I can't subscribe to the notion because Pop knew that Kawhi was better than DeMar DeRozan.
1,000%.
So there's no way that he thought that. Oh, okay, me letting them get better. They're not going to win it all. Knowing that LeBron was already gone. Because by then, LeBron was gone by the time he got traded.
I know, but I don't think he thought they'd win a championship.
No. And again, I would agree with you if Kawhi and the Raptors just ran through. No. Remember, they only got there off of the luckiest shot in NBA history. Fair. Right? So it's like, it wasn't even like they just ran through. There were 4-0 sweeps. Trust me. I remember there was 4-1s. Like, no, they went through a gauntlet to get there. Right? The easiest series they had that whole run was Golden State. Was the easiest.
Their first round series was they played Orlando that first round.
Oh, that's why I forgot it. Okay, so that was very easy.
I remember that.
That was a cakewalk.
No. Remember, that was a gentleman's sweep. Orlando took one.
They won the first game, right?
Yep, Orlando took one of those.
I remember that.
Oh, I was so happy. I was just like, yeah. But what I'm saying is, I think when Pop sent him to Toronto, it's because he wanted to send him to basketball Siberia. In the sense of, you want to go to LA. You want to go to nice, bright LA. You want to be a Laker. That's what you want to be. I'm sending you to Toronto. Go fuck yourself, right? So I'm saying, I'm sorry, Joel. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying that's a good idea. I mean, I think he did the right thing. Send him as far away from fucking San Antonio as
or the West, as far away from the West as possible.
That's what I think more so was. I just want you to be out of the. I just want you not to be in the West.
He Jon Snowed him. He sent his ass right to the wall. So what I'm saying is, if I was Joe Tsai, right? I'm with you, Joel. You don't want to be here? Great. Enjoy your time in Charlotte with Michael Jordan, right? That's what I would do. But I can't.
Sounds far enough.
I can't because it's the fear of the opposing organization fearing he won't want to stay there. So now I'm forced to send him to a contender that's in the East.
But that's
where it's fucking you over.
I think he'll have those discussions and listen to teams that might want him. Like in New Orleans, it's not the spot you would expect, but there's a team there where he can compete with. You know what I mean?
I tell you what, I'm making it difficult on New Orleans. I'm like, what up, Grant? What's going on? I'm definitely saying, hey, I want CJ and Brandon. And if you're New Orleans, you're going, well, no, I need my big three. And it's like, well, I'm not getting shafted, okay? Like,
No,
I understand I won't get Durant back.
Give me Ingram, and there's a couple of young guys on there that you can take from him. But that's what Brooklyn could do.
If I'm selling to my franchise, when I do my press conference, the two people holding up jerseys are Ingram and Alvarado. Yeah. I'm definitely saying, no, maybe I take that Boston.
Hey, Alvarado's good.
maybe I take that Boston deal. Maybe I do that. Maybe I go that route. Maybe I do that. But yeah, you're just in a very difficult situation if you're Joe Tsai. I'm saying this: if I do go your route, Joel, and I'm like, well, fuck it, trade him, I'm at least making him wait one season, or at least until the trade deadline before I do it, where teams might get a little bit more desperate. Right?
I want to actually not have distractions personally, so I would definitely, as soon as I can get him out, get him out.
Here's the crazy part: the distractions wouldn't end, because then you go, well, are you trading Kyrie now? And then time out. Not even that, Joel. Then you double down by saying, is Ben ever gonna fucking play again?
That's the only thing. But that's the only thing they can worry about. It's about this fucker playing. It's not about him not wanting to be there.
Well, they can't trade Bam and Bam. Yeah. They can't trade him until January
because of Ben Simmons.
Right,
they can't
and they
be
have
on the
to
same
move
team.
Ben Simmons. Right, yeah, you can't have two rookie extension deals.
Because of that, the rookie extension. Right.
All I'm saying is KD and CP3 needs to happen. Again, I'm going to be very honest with you. Basketball-wise,
I don't care about either of those players having anything that'll help them. Like
100%.
I don't care if either one of those players win another ring. Well, CP3 wins a ring at all, but I don't care about that.
I don't need the happiness of either one of them. I don't need the happiness of Durant going to Boston. I don't need the happiness of him going to Miami.
Send him to Sacramento.
I don't need the happiness of that's what Didge. I'm telling you right now, I'd send them there. I'd even lie on the resume. I'd call up Sacramento and go, hey, I heard he grew up a massive Chris Webber fan. All he wants to do is bring a championship to Sacramento. I'd lie my ass off. Trade for him, gone, done. And then let him become their problem. But I'd send you to Siberia, 100%. That's without a question. Your ass is going to Siberia. It's exactly where I'm sending you. Right down there. That's where I'm sending your ass. But yeah, I think we all agree in the sense of we just want it to be over.
Yes.
Yeah. I have other teams to worry about, like my own. Fucking Brooklyn.
Nets, Suns, Celtics, Heat. I don't care. Bucks and Knicks. Oh wait, before we move on, Mike, I got something for you to put up. This is a gift for Didge because Didge is family here, so we got Didge a little gift. Didge, we have a picture of the real life Avengers, and I thought you might be happy to see them. So, Mike, you can go ahead and put up this picture of the Avengers, and you can kind of just let Didge enjoy himself a little bit. This is a very beautiful picture that I'm putting up for you, Didge. I can't wait for you to see it, but we'll talk a little bit while he brings it up.
Is it Didge's birthday? Did I miss something?
No, it's not. But Didge had a very long and fun and crazy adventure. He deserves a gift, right? Comes back home. There you go, Didge. There you go. Look at the Avengers. Can we zoom in on that a little bit, Mike? Can we zoom in there? On the Avengers?
Los Antetokounmpos.
The only way you defeat the Thanos of the NBA is to assemble the Giannis Avengers. Okay, there you go.
I want to know what that starting lineup looks like, honestly, now.
There you go. You got it in the name, Didge. You got your boys together.
Oh, I was watching his game against Spain today.
How was it?
It was unfair. It was so unfair.
And you know what was even more unfair? You look at that team and you go, well, it's just Giannis. Like
literally, he put up 30 points in 20 minutes. It was he would literally get the ball, take 3 steps, do a Euro step, and the whole team would jump, and he'd just dunk it. And it's why are you here?
Spain is definitely not as good as they used to be either.
I'm gonna be honest, Didge. I was looking for you to say some wild shit like he got 30 in 10 seconds. I thought you were gonna say some shit like that.
He was hitting his threes. It was.
Wait, he was hitting threes?
Yeah.
Oh, that's disrespectful as hell. He don't even do that shit here.
Right. It was so unfair to watch. I gotta imagine. The Luka games are probably exactly the same.
100%.
Jokic is over those 3 are so bogus. Why are y'all there?
I'm telling you right now, Luka is trying shit overseas that he'll never do in the NBA. That's how unfair it is.
That's
I'm
what
telling you
Giannis
right
was
now.
doing.
Luka is shooting like this from behind his back. He's taking an arm off and shooting that. Like, Luka's doing some wild shit out there. I can already tell. But I do want to give an L of the week. I want to start this where we give L's of the week. My L of the week is going to none other than fucking what's his name that just got traded to the Hawks.
DeJounte Murray.
Yes, DeJounte Murray. DeJounte Murray, I'm going to just say this. I am not from where you are from, so I don't understand the lingo. But you never tell a man in a non-sexual context that you will blow their backs out. I don't know why those words came to your head, but maybe don't
type it in there so everyone can see it.
Don't. That's something you text to him, right? Trying to give him.
So he can, and then like, look what this motherfucker said.
right. But I'm like, when he said that, Grant, we're gonna get right to that. I didn't ignore you, Grant. I got you. We're gonna get right to it. But the L of the week does go to DeJounte Murray.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
Yeah,
you gave him all the advantage after that.
100%. Like, you know what's crazy,
where did
Joel?
it come from? Why are they so angry with you? Well, why?
So they played each other. They played each other in like this little tournament thing.
Yeah, I saw the program.
DeJounte Murray was getting very disrespectful. He was doing behind his back alley-oop dunks, and then he was slamming the ball back at him when he was doing check-out. So it seemed as though DeJounte Murray was essentially trying to sun him, and he was not appreciating
so there was nothing, but that's what I saw all of that. The way he was playing made it seem like there was prior beef before that.
Oh, if that exists, I don't think we know. I think we'll find out, but I don't think that's been made.
I saw all of it, I'm like, where's this animosity?
I love that it's in the same division too. It's like,
I like that a lot too. Yeah,
I'm gonna see a couple matchups.
And you know what? You know who's going to be guarding who when they play, right? You know exactly who's going to be guarding who. DeJounte Murray's going to say, clear out. Come here. come right over here. I'm guarding you. What's up? You know, what can you do, right? But
I hope that he doesn't get like put on skates, get dunked on, nothing.
Who, DeJounte?
He has to hope that every time he's on defense against them, it is immaculate. Like he better turn to Gary Payton.
I don't think anything that happens to DeJounte Murray could be any worse than telling the guy you'll blow his back out. Like as a threat. like not even as like a term of as a threat. Yo, I will blow your back out. It's like, wait, what?
I know where's his guys at? Like, hey, yo.
Yeah. Not even his guys. Where is his parents? For somebody to just go, hey, you say this shit? Like, did you mean it? Yeah, like I'm gonna beat him up. It's like, well, say that. Say that. Don't
whoever he's with is like, I think this man just trying to rape me.
Let's talk about your
confused here.
Let's talk about your lingo. Like,
every time I walk past DeJounte, I'd be covering my ass like,
right? Like, you ain't blowing my back out. But all right, let's get to Grant's question. Is Zion Williamson worth what he is getting paid? I believe, in a sense, for the Pelicans, yes. Yes, this is very much maybe nobody else pays him this, maybe, but you damn sure have to pay him this. You're gonna let him walk? Like,
was this
his
last year?
I think he was like RJ. He's heading into his last year.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Yeah, this is
his extension year. So
yeah,
this is rookie extension year. Like most.
Because here's the problem: everybody believes he doesn't want to be there anyway. So I'm like, your only thing was to pay him, right? There was nothing else that necessarily would have kept him there, but the money. And we don't even know that the money long term will keep him there, right? So it's like, is he worth it for the Pelicans? 100%. But Joel, what do you think? You think Zion's worth it?
Is he? Well, first, what was the question? It was,
is Zion worth what he's getting paid?
No, it's not worth it. But like you said, for New Orleans, yes, it is, because they want to keep him, and when he is healthy, he is a monster, right? So when he's healthy, he is worth it. Problem is, we can't 100% confirm that it'll stay that way. Yeah. And he's undersized and overweight, and so like for him to, he's a hazard for sure. It's definitely a risk, and there've got to be some type of provisions they put in that fucking contract.
Apparently they did. They did
because that's smart. Because I'm like, man, that's risky because that's a lot of money they give that man, right? And he hasn't really earned it at this point. I mean, he does have he has an All-Star appearance at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if did he play. I don't remember if he played that
No,
game.
I don't remember if he played.
I think he was
just sub
hurt.
out.
That was 2021.
Yeah.
Only
So
the one. Obviously, he hasn't been in the league all that long, so he only the one, right?
And didn't they go to the play-in?
Yeah.
Without him, though. That was this
No,
year.
I think they went with him. Didn't they go 1 year with him? They either made the playoffs or made the play-in with him, I remember.
I don't remember.
No, because
the
2020-2021 season would have been the COVID year, right?
Yeah. Didn't he play during that bubble?
It was a big, I don't remember.
Maybe he didn't.
This is the year after the bubble, I think, right? The 20. Yeah, this would have been the because this would have been the year that we won it.
Yeah.
I don't remember him playing in the playoffs. I can look at the.
He didn't play that year LeBron won it?
That was the bubble year. I don't think so. He played like 20 games that year.
Wow.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah.
He played more games the year after the bubble, but he missed a lot of games, and I don't think they made the playoffs.
He didn't start the year playing either, right? I don't think his rookie year, right? No. So I mean, that's what I mean. It's very scary.
Yeah, no, they didn't make the playoffs or the play-in game that year.
Here's why I say, as I pass it to you, Didge. Here's why I say it's a roll of the dice, but it's a roll I'm willing to take because that could have been the same thing everybody said about Joel Embiid, right? To where he's just fucking injured all the time. When is he gonna play? And then all of a sudden he's just healthy. Even Curry started off that way, right?
True.
So where it's just like he ran into that wall, and then all of a sudden it's just like you are weirdly very fucking healthy. Like, did you sell your soul? What happened here?
That is the thing because Curry was very brittle, skinny. You weren't sure can he hold up. And same thing with Embiid. He's big, and you know how 7-footers as they break a foot that never recovers sometimes, and that they'll never be the same. And luckily, you're right, they did come back, and Zion could be the same way. Now his is more than just injuries, weight issues, which we've seen that collapse players in the past.
Remember that was something that the Sixers reached out to Embiid about. And that's why when you hear Embiid talk now, he's saying he's just eating a lot better. Because he was saying shit like he'd have a burger an hour before the game and shit. And it's like, wait, what? Like, I don't think you should do that. So I'm like, again, I don't disagree with you, Joel. But like you said, the only reason why it's a risk I believe there's a lot of organizations would have taken is because when he is on that court, he seems as close to unstoppable as unstoppable gets, right? And that's against grown men. Like, we're not talking about like, oh, he hasn't played since college, so we don't even know if he could do this against grown men. He was doing this against grown men, right? Where he was just dominating.
Specimen at 6'6". He's not very tall. He's 6'6", playing power forward, which is normally a short power forward.
Right.
But he jumps so high. He's so wide. He's so strong. He's still more dominant than all the power forwards in the league.
Yes.
Because
and that is a motherfucker you don't have to worry about dropping 30 points in the game. That is a motherfucker.
And now he might not shoot you 30, but he'll get you 30 and all in the paint.
All in it.
By the way, he did play that All-Star game that he made it to.
He did play? All
yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I get you had to pay him, but like Grant said, the man's played 85 games in his career. Mm-hmm. This is his third. This is technically his fourth year. He's going into. I think you wait to see
one season.
He's basically played one season. I think it's weird to do it when you don't know when he's going to be back this year. I think you wait to see.
I think he'll be back.
I'm sure he'll be back this year at some point.
No,
I don't know if he's going to start the season.
I think he will. But I think
they haven't said anything.
I know they haven't said anything, but I think he will be ready.
Well, here's the problem with that, Didge. Again, a lot of people believe he does not even want to be there. So you play chicken with this motherfucker, and he asks for a trade. You're fucked. You're royally fucked.
Especially
when he played, you didn't. When he played majority the 2020-2021 season. He played majority of the season. Y'all didn't make the playoffs. The year he didn't play, y'all did.
Time out. We're now talking about a exponentially better.
I agree, but I'm saying if you've proven that you could have made,
McCollum.
But you've proven that you could have made the playoffs without him. Obviously, he's going to help you take a step forward. Yes, we know that. Yeah. But
getting CJ was definitely that.
That's more of a reason to be like, we want to see you actually play with this team.
But that's not what that franchise is about. Look at AD. That man I think that man made the playoffs in New Orleans twice. Twice. Only one time he got past the first round.
Fair.
And that motherfucker was almost as injured as Zion is right now. And that's over the course of a longer tenure in New Orleans than where Zion is right now. And they still paid that motherfucker, and he's still adios, right? So I'm like, if you play chicken and you're an organization that missed out on Anthony Davis and then miss out on Zion, I don't see how you recover.
So you don't think that they offer this same deal? They offered it what, July 6th? I'm looking at. They offer it, let's say, February 6th. Mm-hmm. But he's played the months leading up to it. So okay, as of right now, it's looking like he's on a healthy track. He's accepting it. You don't think he's accepting 5 years, $200 million in February? Because
here's the thing: if you're telling me that it's agreed upon, of course, then that's fine. Yeah, but I'm saying you don't want to give a player that everybody on planet Earth believes does not want to be there a reason to validate not wanting to be there, and not paying him would be that
85 games, and
he's played amazing in those 85 games. Of course,
that's the thing. He's already
every team.
He knows that one season.
But we say it time and time again. You can be the greatest player in the world. Not available. It doesn't mean shit.
Lamar, right now. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Brandon Roy. Let's amazing.
That's a low blow.
That is a low blow because I fucking love Brandon
Roy. Amazing.
But the difference here is a lot of people were arguing last year. A lot of people were arguing last year, was Zion's problem health
or mental
or nutrition? No, or nutrition.
Wow.
Was this motherfucker just too out of shape to place him back into games to where it's just like, all right, yeah, get back in there and play, right? So to me, like I said, you just don't want to give them a reason, because when I tell you every team in the NBA that can make room to go out and get Zion will do just that. Not giving – you could tell those teams that he played 13 games. If you told them that he averaged 30 in those 13 games, they're selling the lot for this motherfucker.
It's just –
So I'm just saying you don't want to risk it.
I get that. But to tell a player – hey, you just haven't been available. We want to make sure that we're doing this for both parties. Mm-hmm. This is the deal. This is the deal we know we're going to offer. You can be upfront about this. This is the deal we know we're going to do. I think it's still like kind of on the scale anyway. So it's not like he can say, oh yeah, we know I might make more if, I play a little better. And it's we want to sort of wait and see. We know this is what's on the table. Mm-hmm. It's not like you're saying, hey, we might not even want to bring you back. It's no, we do, but we want to make sure everything is right on both sides. And sure, he can take that whatever way he wants to. That's fine. Hell, he signed this deal. He may still Durant has 4 years left. He wants to trade. This means nothing.
But he is a very mentally unstable motherfucker. This is a little different. We all just believe that if Zion actually hits free agency, he's out of there. I don't think Zion would necessarily force his way out, or he would have already. But I don't think there's a player in the NBA who is willing to bet on themselves enough to say, you know what, don't pay me now. And then tomorrow I get injured and I can't play, and now you lowball me.
Yeah, you always.
But to be fair, as a team, you should. But as a team, so then don't offer this yet. It's whatever. It wasn't. You have this year regardless. It wasn't like if you didn't sign him.
Yeah.
By February or by.
They could have waited, yes.
Yeah, no, I get you.
They should have waited.
But here's the thing: the fact that they didn't tells you all the power Zion holds.
It makes
them not waiting is because Zion was not looking to wait a second later to sign that deal. That's the thing. Right now, we're dealing with it with RJ. We're dealing with it with RJ. RJ's waiting. 100%. That man was not waiting.
Get paid. I don't think he'll get paid the max, but he'll get paid.
No, he might get paid.
They should have waited. Max. It was dumb on their part because this could happen. He gets injured right again.
Best offseason.
This could, and if you're the Pelicans, you'd be the idiot to not have provisions in that contract. That's the difference. I'll give you the contract today, but I have provisions that if you stub a toe and tell me you can't play for 2 weeks, guess what? You don't get paid for 2 weeks. How about that? I'm putting provisions in, but I don't mind paying you.
The only provision I saw was 193 guaranteed. I think he got up to 231 if he makes an All-Star game. That's the only provision they.
I get you. I'm saying the stupidity is on their part. I would have put provisions in that contract. I would have given you that contract anytime you wanted it. But I'm putting in things that protect me. But the idea that the Pelicans should have waited, there's no way a player will allow you. That's very uncommon.
He didn't have, in my opinion, he didn't really have too much of the leverage. He still has to play this year out if he's healthy enough to play.
But
and
the leverage being, you saw exactly what happened when Anthony Davis was in the same situation. Had a year or two left, was asking out early, left. You got the roster you got, and the only thing that's left of the roster you got is Brandon Ingram, and you lucked up with that one, where he really transformed himself into a budding superstar.
I get what you're
right?
saying, but
it's just a risk you don't take if you're the Pelicans, because the likelihood of you getting another number one ping pong ball should be, we know it's not, should be damn near impossible.
I hear you, but I think they
should be
without
even
with what they I mean, they were a playoff team last year. That's the thing. It's not like that's the difference, I guess, from when AD left. They weren't at all a playoff team.
But they didn't make the playoffs last year. They made the play-in.
And made it into the playoffs.
They made it into the playoffs?
Yeah, remember they almost.
Yes. Now I remember.
Yeah, I know there was some type
completely
of
forgot. I remember now. Yeah. No. I remember clear now. That was when CJ got fouled out and Brandon Ingram was getting triple teamed at that point and couldn't score.
Right.
I do remember. Yep, I remember. Yeah, absolutely. But again, that doesn't give you you think that gives you the leverage? That don't give you no leverage. Because here's the problem. At no point is CJ or Brandon Ingram, when healthy, better than Zion. That's the leverage for Zion.
It's giving you leverage in the fact of, because you were saying their biggest risk is basically going to the years after AD left. Whereas they're a much better team than the team that was left after AD left.
I get you, but what was the problem everyone kept saying throughout that series? If Zion's there, this might be a completely different series.
That's true. That's fair. That's fair. But it's also another year that they gelled together.
So I'm like, you're talking about a West that's getting, we're not hoping, but we're assuming the Lakers make themselves better if LeBron and AD stay healthy. We're talking about the Clippers. Right, yeah, the Lakers are hoping. We're talking about the Clippers are going to get better with Kawhi and Paul George healthy. So I'm like, we're talking about
stay healthy. If all three of those stay healthy,
right?
We need Kawhi to actually stay healthy.
But you're just talking about all these teams that are getting back A+ players, and you're talking about a Pelicans team possibly without Zion, and that team could make the playoffs again. Very
but
unlikely.
The point is, he would have had to play this year regardless.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like if they don't give him this contract now, he doesn't play this year. He plays this year. And
could have asked for a trade.
I think it helped. I think it helped keep him though.
Durant asked for a trade. He's still in that right now, isn't he?
Well, the biggest difference is I think if you're Joe Tsai, you just don't want to do it, right? And we learned that the Pelicans tried that. Didn't work for that organization. They didn't want to trade AD, and it came down to, well, we have to, right? And we have to.
They got a nice.
And we'll see if that happens with Brooklyn. No, they did. We'll see if that happens with Brooklyn, but that's not something that happens on a regular ditch, where a player wants out and the organization is just like, well, I won't trade you.
No, that is fair. But I
think they're very similar situations with the Knicks are in with the AD thing, because like they got, I forgot how many picks they ended up trading for AD, and they got how much 4 young guys out of it too. Mm-hmm. Like, so I mean,
so remember they got Josh Hart, Ingram, was it Kuzma?
Ball, not Kuzma. No,
Kuzma and Ball.
No, they didn't get Kuzma. They got Ball.
Kuzma
they got Ball. They got Ball, Ingram, and Hart. That
so
was
just those 3?
Might have been just those 3. Okay, might have just been.
Did Kuzma? Did he get?
No, Kuzma. Remember, was the trade for Russell Westbrook.
You're
right. That's right.
Yeah, Kuzma was still there. He was. Still
that's there. That's why he's still in Washington.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Didge, I don't disagree with you. I am fine with organizations saying, hey, I want to make sure that you're worth this money I'm paying you. It just so happens in the NBA, more so than really any other sport, it's just a risk you can't take because the freedom is a lot higher in the NBA than really anywhere else in sports, right? Outside of maybe soccer, because I swear to God, I keep hearing of like Ronaldo and these motherfuckers bunny hopping the team. It's
like, I don't
understand. Have contracts? Like the fuck? You just go wherever you want?
I don't understand soccer.
Yeah, they got long. Soccer's a little weirder.
I don't understand. You can put a player out on a long. I tried following soccer for a summer, and so they told me somebody was on a loan, so he was playing for another team. Then like 2 weeks later, he was back on his original team. I was like, what just happened?
Yeah, you can loan to buy. basically. Like,
I don't. So
I liked him. Let's buy him.
It's literally like if the Patriots were like, man, we want to try Aaron Rodgers for 2 weeks,
right?
and then come back, and I was just like, what is going on? I was so confused.
Could you picture after the 2 weeks? They're like, I'm gonna keep him. It's like, wait, whoa,
I was so
I want to keep him. I
confused.
want to keep him.
Yeah,
I want
usually
him.
Mike, watching Ted Lasso doesn't help. I watched Ted Lasso. I was still confused.
Awesome.
It didn't help. Like, Ted Lasso, I was just enjoying it. I
Yeah,
don't know what's going on.
One of the main guys, their main scorer was on loan, and they ended up losing him because they didn't want to buy or some shit like that.
I didn't understand it. I was like, oh, this is crazy. He's not here anymore. Like,
so confusing. Yeah. But let's answer some of Grant's questions before we move on. Who has had the best offseason in the NBA? It's really hard not to say probably the Timberwolves, right? They had the most complete offseason.
I mean, they had an offseason. I say maybe Boston.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that. I was going more so Minnesota because you were able to keep D'Angelo Russell, right? That wasn't somebody you needed to trade. Obviously, what's his name is taking an elevated step upward, right? Karl Anthony Towns now sees that you're on the right path.
Right.
And apparently Rudy Gobert is just a tier below Shaquille O'Neal, apparently, according to you guys. So it's like you definitely had and you managed to get rid of Patrick Beverly. Those are just wins in my book, right? Those are just wins. You won.
Fair.
You won.
Get rid of Patrick Beverly.
That's a win. That's a win. Because I guarantee you Rudy Gobert won't jump up on the table if they make the play.
That's
if they make the playoffs. Right?
He's like, bro, I get past this fucking round every year.
Yeah, it's like we get here. This is not new to me. But no, I mean I won't disagree with Boston, right? Obviously, you addressing the two biggest needs you had, right, and addressing them.
Anything up.
Yeah, right. Which is so weird. Like, how the fuck do you let Brogdon go to Boston and you didn't get back somebody significant?
They gave up like mad random ass pieces, like picks or whatever.
I'm gonna go Timberwolves over Boston just because I want to see. I know now Jaylen Brown says that the trade rumor meant nothing.
Yeah, that could
but
be interesting.
I want to see when they face some adversity next year. What does it mean?
I mean, they faced adversity the following year. They started shitty. Remember?
No, but that was before. This is now. In 3 times essentially, your team has tried to trade you, and so immediately when y'all face some adversity next year, I want to see how you respond to that.
Putting Jaylen Brown in trade talks definitely puts a damper on their offseason. But it's just like Minnesota overpaying for Rudy Gobert. Like, they gave up so much for this better work. to run the lineup they're going to run with now. They're experimentally trying Cat at power forward and Rudy at center. Now, again, it's not that far off from how they were playing last year, but still, like, it's a big move. We'll see.
and look, it helps a lot because Cat was getting in some foul trouble. In that series this past season. So that helps defensively to where Cat essentially just does not have to focus on defense. Yeah. He can essentially just blot it out, right? He can go, the brick wall's back there. I just offense. He's got the defense.
He could just worry about scoring. Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
And then go back and do what he does best, which is rebound and block shots, right?
Yep, 100%. Be your defensive anchor. And like you said, if that means that he can't close fourth quarters, guess what? That's not a problem for me if I'm the Timberwolves, because if you're telling me I have a 10 to 15 point lead heading into the fourth quarter, and I'm now just being asked to maintain it rather than play catch up, that's a lot easier for me to be able to manage that than for you to tell me, well, now I have to play catch up. And now I have to make defensive stops, so I need the motherfucker, but he can't get out on the small ball, so it makes it hard. Like, there's some scenarios where Rudy Gobert being part of that team helps a lot more.
And they can go small and still be pretty good. Like, they have a lot of big wings still on that team. Like, they brought in Kyle Anderson, they had Taurean Prince. What's this kid that's going to probably end up starting at small forward? Jaden McDaniels, who has a really big upside. 6'9" too, playing small forward. Not bad. So look, Minnesota's exciting. I really look forward to seeing how they play next year. And that was a big swing, stupid big swing that fucked up the market, but that's not really their problem, is it?
We could have had Donovan straight up for Grimes and
No,
6 picks.
Never would have been.
Fucking Rudy Gobert. Are the Cavs a playoff team again this season?
They were a play-in team.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. This is a biased question you're asking me and Joel because we solely believe that we would replace them. So it's like, at the very least, we would replace where they were. So no. But if you're going purely off of just talent, they should make the playoffs this year.
Yeah,
and not have to do a play.
They should.
I don't think they make the playoffs this year.
Off talent, for sure, they should.
They have a good starting five.
I don't think the top 6 in the East changed.
Oh no, I don't doubt that. But we're talking about they made the play-in and lost the play-in and didn't make the playoffs. I'm saying if they at least make the play-in, I believe they're better suited. Because again, what's the likelihood that they play a number 1 caliber team in the play-in? Like Brooklyn Nets should not have been that low to be a play-in team. So what's the likelihood they play a team like that again? So
okay, so let's say I guess I think there are 8 better teams than them. Still.
Wow. Okay.
8 better, you said?
I mean, let's say we're saying the Brooklyn Nets shouldn't have been there, so they make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. That means
Brooklyn
either if we're just going 4, 5, and 6, that means either Philadelphia, which we think is going to get better,
Philadelphia, Boston,
Toronto, or Chicago are going to be in the play-in.
And I'll tell you this right now: the talent that Cleveland has. If I'm Cleveland, I'm not afraid of any of those teams. And here's
being
why.
Afraid and being better is 2 different things.
Well,
I don't
obviously they're not better because they don't have an individual player that's better than obviously the big name individual players on those 3 teams that you named. But
that's really the difference.
If we're talking, could Cleveland be the kind of team that goes in and beats one of those 3 teams that you named? 100%, I believe they could. I'm looking at Sixers that struggled against a Raptors team they should have never fucking struggled against. Right?
Fair.
So it's like,
on any given day, we're saying both of those 2 teams are better than Cleveland, at least in my opinion.
I'm not saying that
Atlanta's better than Cleveland.
Well, look at. I mean, we don't even know what they're going to do with Colin Sexton. If he's going to be there, that's basically the 6 man.
That's an amazing 6 man coming in. That's an amazing 6 man.
But I still
think
Atlanta's better.
It is. And Joel, let's even go. And Didge, I'm not ignoring. I'm going to come back to that Atlanta point. I'm going to come back to that point. But let's even go off of the idea. Okay, let's even go off of that idea, Joel, that they don't keep Colin Sexton. What if they're able to flick him?
But for
right?
what?
And now you're talking And now you're talking about possible assets to help out that bench, right? So I'm like, there's just, to me, I just really like the heart of that team. And again, wasn't Jared Allen injured in that in those playing games? Because they played 2, I believe.
I think he was.
I think he was injured. I think they played 2 because I remember one of those games.
They had to play against the Hawks against that. Yeah, they were 8 seed, so they had to play the Hawks one.
Right, one of those games, and they beat the Hawks. Just throwing that out there.
They didn't. They lost to the Hawks. I saw the Hawks were in the playoffs.
That's right.
Wait, they had to play the Hawks and Brooklyn.
They had to play Brooklyn first. They lost to Brooklyn and then lost to the Hawks.
Oh shit, you're absolutely right. They did. They absolutely did.
Which I think both teams are still better than them. Which is why I said 9.
I gotta see, man, because I swear Atlanta Hawks are really weird, bro. To go as high as they did the year before and to drop as low as they did the following year, and then to look lifeless against Miami. They look lifeless. So I'm like, I don't know what's the next. Like, is DeJounte Murray a big enough piece to elevate them? I believe that team is good without DeJounte, and with them they're even better. But I need them to, because again, against Miami, they look like they didn't belong.
They did.
I'm not saying it like, oh, Atlanta should have ran all over Miami. I get it. Miami was a better team, but your star player cannot look that lifeless.
Miami.
They did, but your star player cannot look as lifeless as he did. He really looked lifeless. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think that was sort of I think that was sort of a wake-up call.
Okay.
Like, I think they were still riding. I can't necessarily say the high of going to the conference finals because you played a whole season in between.
You played a whole season.
But I think they were sort of thinking, all right, we got a little. Once we get to playoff times, we got a little bit more swagger than they came out and shown. They kind of got punched in the face and never recovered.
Who?
Yeah. Atlanta. I'm still going with that. If you're telling me the 3 teams are Chicago, Sixers, and Toronto, I feel pretty good backing Cleveland going up against either one of those three teams.
I don't know if I do. I think because you got to figure also Chicago was playing really, really well until Alonzo got hurt.
Injuries hurt.
Right. But here's the question, though. Here's the question. You ready for this, Didge? Let's take the Sixers out, right?
Okay.
When you look at what Cleveland did last year and what Chicago did last year, right? They were both playing with house money, right? Because nobody believed DeMar DeRozan being added to that team would make them as great as they were, let alone his game would elevate as greatly as it did, right? They were just going, we never now have to worry about not making the playoffs, right? DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, that's enough to at least get you into the playoffs, right? They went over what was predicted for that team to do. Cleveland did the same. Toronto, I believe, fell under what people thought they would be able to do, right? Everyone was expecting Pascal Siakam to take that next step, all these young kids to elevate.
Arguably, he made an All-NBA team. He did. We don't think he should have made the All-NBA team.
Again, we look at that differently because Joel made a point. Well, who else were you going to give it to? So it's like there was slim pickings out there, right? So it came down to, well, who played the best out of the power forwards that we have here? Right?
And like I said, he played a lot of center too. So it's like
right. So I mean, elevating it in a way that a Jason Tatum did, a Luka Doncic did, like guys like that. And again, I'm not putting the pressure on their shoulders, but I think that they came under what a lot of people expected them to be able to do.
I don't know if they did. Remember, they didn't make the playoffs the year before.
No, they overachieved, in my opinion.
Well, to me, I think the expectation was that was too much talent for that to be a repeat, right? And again, Pascal Siakam ascending to where I think a lot of us believe that Pascal Siakam can be that guy. It just hasn't necessarily consistently translated.
I don't think.
I thought he was good.
You don't think he would be that guy?
That guy? No, yeah,
that guy.
Wow. So who do you think could be that guy on that team?
Nobody right now. Maybe Scotty Barnes.
Maybe Scotty Barnes. I think they're a team that's built, with the team chemistry sort of, and that's they're like almost how. It's tough because the Spurs still had sort of that guy, but it's like almost like the Spurs.
You can make an argument they have more than one.
Yeah, but when you think about the Spurs, you don't think about the Tim Duncans of it. You think about like, man, that was just a well-oiled machine.
That also had Tim Duncan on it.
Yeah, but you
lead with power forward of all time.
You lead with well-oiled machine, and then you go. They also got Tim Duncan.
I mean, but I'd even go a step further. You could arguably say they had one of, if not the greatest six man of all time in Manu Ginobili, right? Yeah. So it's like,
Tony Parker was no slouch.
No slouch at all. And then you rebound that with, man, they're getting old. Where can you go? And it's just like, oh, what's this Kawhi Leonard thing I got dropped into my lap? What is this, right?
So maybe like a poor man's Pistons is probably a better way to put it.
I'll give you that. Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
That's a better way to put it. A poor man's Pistons.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, that's better.
Yep.
That's better. There are no superstars on that squad, but
right?
Good possible all-stars,
And so that's how I look at Toronto. And I think they just got better. Scotty Barnes. He's gonna get better.
Yeah.
What is it? Is it
Anunoby?
Yeah, Anunoby.
OG Anunoby.
Yeah, he's gonna get better.
Fred
VanVleet. So I think they're gonna build on what they did last year. Chicago's gonna be healthy, so I can see them playing more closer to the beginning of the year than the end of the year because injuries. They sort of lost the war of attrition. Mm-hmm. Brooklyn. Regardless of everything that's going along with them, they're going to at least be around the same what they were last year.
If they lose Durant, I still think they'll
assuming that they don't lose Durant, of course.
No, I think even if they lose Durant, they're going to be in a similar position, which is weird. Because they're still going to have talent. Obviously not talent. They'll be a little worse, but I don't think they'll be that much. It's Kyrie.
But here's the problem. I was just about to say, the biggest problem is if you lose Durant, there's no way Kyrie stays.
He might stay because he might have no choice, but I don't know if I want him there.
He has the choice. He only has 1 year left, so he may play out the year.
I'm not losing him for nothing.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not losing him.
If Durant go, Kyrie's probably a Laker before we know it.
Yeah,
if Durant goes, I might make that part of a 3-team trade. Fuck it. Hey, bring both of y'all in here. Sit down. You're both gone.
So
he picks from you and he picks from you. And
assuming that they both stay, like I said, I think Brooklyn's right around the same. Top 4 in the East, and maybe some shuffling of what team goes where. I don't think top 4 in the East change at. Those 4 teams are the top 4 teams in the East.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with that.
Which are the teams?
Miami, Boston, Milwaukee, and Philly.
Yeah.
Like I said, there'll likely be some shuffling in the order of where they land, but those are the top 4 teams in the East. And 5, 6, 7, I think, are Toronto, Chicago, Brooklyn.
And I'm saying I would not be shocked if one of those were substituted for Cleveland. Wouldn't be.
I mean, Cleveland. I think they're almost there.
Well, again,
was surprised the shit out of me last
year. Garland was an all-star, and I don't care how he was an all-star. He was an all-star.
No, he was an all-star.
Allen
was the one that was like.
Was the one? Yes, gotcha.
He was like a second reserve.
I know, but a lot of people were saying Garland's game was really good, but that was more so of like a Cleveland pick. Right, it was in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Give him the All-Star because it wasn't like his numbers were horrendous or anything. Like you can make the argument he deserved it, but you also can make an argument there might have been somebody better suited to making that All-Star game.
It's been a while, so I don't remember exactly who it was. I mean, and I don't know. He earned it. I'm not gonna say he did.
I remember.
I won't either, but that's what I'm saying. I don't believe he plateaued. I believe there's another level for him to go to. Whether or not he gets,
he's already been showing it.
So
yeah, I think he's good. He's good.
So that's what I'm saying. And again, Jared Allen, if he can stay healthy all season, right? You having your essential right now, your essential 1-2 punch off the bench of Sexton and Love. You know what I'm saying? I think that, right. You still have LeVert. You still have the. I think they could be good.
Great.
And here's the thing: people were talking about Mobley being the guy to be the face of that team going forward.
Mm-hmm.
We now need to see it, right? We now need to see if he can transform himself in
year 2. He was in the rookie of the year running.
Right. Yes, he was. Who won it? Was it Cade?
I think it was Barnes.
Oh, it was Scotty Barnes. You're right. It was Scotty Barnes. Yeah, Scotty Barnes was just way more consistent.
Barnes
came on late.
Barnes might be that guy Toronto need. We'll see.
Yeah,
he might be. Or look, this could be a non-conversation when Durant gets into Toronto. So.
He was. God, I don't remember who won that one. Barnes?
Yeah, Barnes won. Because remember, Cade Cunningham didn't come on until mid-season.
Yeah.
Right? He came on mid-season.
I didn't remember at all who won that.
Mobley, I believe, wasn't focused on enough because the focus was Garland. Right? The focus was Garland and then integrating Karis LeVert and those guys. Yeah. So he couldn't really truly shine the way that those other two could. But Scotty Barnes, I believe, was the most consistent of those 3 guys.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I couldn't remember for the life of me who won Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
When
Joel said that, I was like, no, he's right. It was because I remember TNT doing the whole thing with Scotty Barnes, and I think the team brought him the trophy or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Joel's absolutely right. It was Scotty Barnes.
You could have told me anybody. Hell, you could have been like, LaMelo won it for the second year in a row. They just lied and gave it to him.
I knew it, man.
We're going to throw off Didge. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers won Rookie of the Year. Right. Let's move on. I do want to talk a little bit about the Knicks. Not the Pro-Am thing, because I could give 2 shits about it. I
wanted to talk about that.
All right, then let's talk about it. This ain't no dictatorship. Then let's talk about it. Go ahead, Didge. Lead us off.
It's so ridiculous. It's oh my god, it was so funny. But it's so funny because how much people are really making a big deal out of it.
So do you still believe there's a market? There's a market that's scrutinized more than the Knicks did? Do you really believe that?
They did the same thing. They did the same thing to LeBron and DeRozan for winning by 1.
Oh well, that's different. That's different. There's nobody on the Knicks that is anywhere near LeBron, right? Having LeBron alone should have won you that by 50.
But so this is why I said it was so ridiculous. You really think those players are going out there trying to play their hardest against these amateurs?
No.
They literally. I saw clips of like players throwing it off the backboard, like doing 360s off the literally doing the 360 to throw it off the backboard.
Here's the thing where I'll play devil's advocate, right? Is it a big deal that they lost? No. Who gives a fuck, right? That means nothing for the regular season.
It is why they lost by 13, though. That part I was like, oh.
But what I will play devil's advocate is as NBA players, on your worst fucking day, you should always be better than the other guys who are not in the fucking NBA.
Yeah.
So on one hand, you look at it and you're like, well, who gives a shit? But on the other hand, it is a bad look that guys that are trying their hardest because they're not in the league, they beat you by 13. I'll give you that. But I just think it doesn't matter.
They gave up 2 40 pieces.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Right. It shouldn't ever go any further than people laughing.
Julius, that's who was guarding them.
Go ahead, Mitch. I'm sorry. It shouldn't go any farther than people laughing at, like, oh, look what happened to these guys. It shouldn't go any further than that. When people making legit takes about where the season is going to go based off of this, that's where it's like, what are we really doing here?
Yeah.
Like, laugh at them. I laughed out of my chair.
I'm telling you right now, Didge, if Jalen Brunson tweets out tonight, damn, there's nowhere good to eat in New York. You know what ESPN would say tomorrow? Well, goddamn, the player you just signed don't even want to be here. It's like, whoa, who said that? He just said, like, there's nowhere good to eat. How did you spin that into
that would be blasphemous, he don't want to be here? Considering he lives in New York City.
I agree. But I hearken that back to, first of all, if we're talking about an indictment, I like the way Jalen Brunson played with Obi Toppin and Julius Randle. I like the way they flowed together, right? But no one will talk about that. We'll talk about, well, man, if they lost in Pro-Am, what can they do against the NBA? Well, why is that the measuring stick, right? And albeit, let's be honest, they lost because there was no RJ Barrett. Let's be 100% honest. They were missing their best player.
They lost because they didn't care.
That's exactly what.
They also lost because they didn't have their best player. They didn't have.
I wanted to play some. I wanted to play some basketball. Basically. Yes, I wanted to play a pickup game.
I'm telling you this right now, Didge. If RJ was playing in slippers, he would not have lost by 13. RJ would not have lost that against nobody. That man is too competitive.
Also,
wouldn't have lost against nobody.
To your earlier point of nobody gets scrutinized, blah blah blah, like the Knicks. Stephen A. Smith sat up there and said, Giannis isn't clutch. JJ Redick said he scored 50 points in the game 6. Stephen A. replied, so? Don't want to hear it. Man said 50 points in the game 6 to close out the finals ain't clutch. Ain't clutch enough.
Are we still acknowledging Stephen A.'s media, though?
He just got back. He has to fill out a lot of hot
Didn't Draymond say we got the new media, not to listen to the old media no more? Come on,
I saw that. No, I was so disgusted.
Yo, I remember that because I remember somebody tweeting out like, yo, at what point did Stephen A. just go, I don't watch sports. like I don't watch anything.
I don't remember last time I watched a game.
Yeah, I remember last time. Because I'm like, because I give Stephen A. the point if Giannis dropped 50 and they lost. But if he dropped 50 and they won, how do you feel as though that doesn't matter? How's that just like a...
Unless his version of clutch is like buzzer beater.
But that's the thing. Too many people...
That's so weird. Because to me...
That's clutch to too many people. That is. That's all they care about.
Here's the problem, though. Here's the problem about a buzzer beater. What people fail to realize, yes, I can see why, Mike. But here's what people fail to realize when they try to equate buzzer beaters as a plaque on a Hall of Fame statue. Here's the problem with that. A buzzer beater means we were locked tied. We were tied, right? I needed that shot just to beat you. Giannis said, hey, guess what? I don't need a buzzer beater. The buzzer beater was the whole fucking game, where I dropped 50. There you go. Buzzer beater into the game. I respect a player that doesn't need those clutch shots. I whooped your ass so thoroughly, it didn't even need to get to that point. By that point, you were done. You were mentally done, physically done. Chris Paul was filming his next commercial by the end of that game. Devin Booker was finding what Kardashian he wants to date next. Giannis had completely rendered them useless, right? That to me is more impressive. Then you go, well, he hit a 3 over 6 guys. Well, why was he that close? Why did he need that?
You don't need to be clutch when you're up 20.
like, why is that not better than quote unquote clutch? It's the fact that I never needed to be, right? I never needed that.
Hey, we got Melo, and he was at the time considered one of the most clutchest player in the league. He lost that shit when he came to New York. I swear to God,
100%.
He was like less clutch, but it didn't matter. We were still winning games. And
it's so funny because people are like, well, LeBron's not as clutch as Kobe. R.I.P. Kobe, but I will make an argument that Kobe in 1 year, where he dropped the 80 points in that one game, that one season might have been all of Kobe's clutchness, right? Because there was nobody else on that fucking team. The man needed to drop 80 in the game to win it. to win it. Just to win it. Think about that.
That's why I went to
80. 80 to win a game. He didn't average 80 in the course of a lifetime. He did it in the course of one singular game. I don't put that over somebody that goes, hey, I never needed it. Like, I never needed it. Sorry. Never needed it. All right. So what I wanted to talk a little bit about the Knicks was not the Pro-Am, but that was a funny moment, Didge. I appreciate that. I wanted to say that apparently rumors coming out of Utah are Utah is willing to hold on to Donovan going into training camp in hopes that the Knicks get desperate enough to offer as much as Utah is looking for them to offer. Now, that's ballsy. But guess what? Guess what? Guess what, Utah? You're not the only one with big balls, because guess what we're willing to do? We're willing to see how much you value your future over the present. And what I mean by that is I'll fuck around, let you hold on to Donovan into the season, win some games, right? Be number 5 in the West and completely fuck yourself out of a number 1 overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do it.
And hope you don't get hurt.
Right. I'll do it. I'll do it in a heartbeat, right? Because it's like, what? You going to take Miami's offer out of spite? And fuck yourself over?
Right.
You gonna do that?
Right.
Okay,
right.
by all means, you do it. You do it. You want to be an asshole?
You know what the situation is right now between the two of them? They want, obviously, the moon, right, for this cat, for Donovan.
Mm-hmm.
The only offers they're getting are basically mid offers. They want the best offers.
Right.
Knicks have the best offer. They want better offers. They're not going to play for themselves.
Right. And let's be clear, Joel. The best offer is that they value picks over players. They also want players, but the picks is what really turns the tide, right?
Well, I thought you guys were offering 4, or was it 3?
The picks aren't the problem. The Knicks apparently came out the other day and were like, hey, by the way, Rose Grimes off limits. It's like, whoa, what? No. For Donovan? No. Neither one of those two guys should be like, what the fuck?
I forgot Derrick Rose was like still officially on the team.
Yeah, well, you also forget because he didn't really play last year, so that's where a lot of people are just like, he's still a Knick. Yeah, he just didn't play.
The time he could play, we didn't want him playing because it's like we wanted to the young guys.
How many games? Oh God, he only played 26 games last year.
Yeah,
he got hurt early.
And you know it's funny, people forget there was a point not this past season that just passed, season before. Derrick Rose, you could argue, was the best player on our team.
That was
so I'm like, I get it. Tibbs is a homer guy. I get it. He doesn't want to let go of his guy. But if you're telling me Rose is what's holding up this deal or Grimes, ship him out.
Ship him out. Not. But I know it's definitely because you got to remember they talk through the media at this point. They're like, we want Grimes. Well, so do we.
I'm giving up Grimes. If that's what's holding it up, Grimes is gone.
I'm pretty sure
he's gone.
I'm 100%
he's
sure
gone.
That's not the one thing holding it up.
No, not the one thing. Grimes would not be any of the things.
But you can't let them know that. You got to play. You play edgy so that when you eventually do give, they're like, oh, good. Then maybe it's like one of those things.
Fair.
You know what I mean?
That's fair.
Like,
but the Knicks ain't slick. The Knicks ain't slick. I see the Twitter page putting out constant videos of Quentin Grimes. I see it like this motherfucker's Jordan. I see the videos y'all putting out. I understand it. I understand it. I understand it. Because you got Utah sitting there like, they really value this motherfucker.
That's what I mean. That's a guy.
Let's make that.
It came out that they like him. So like, oh, we gotta hold tighter then. Because now they want to be dicks. We can be dicks too.
Right. Now, we all did hear of the 3-team trades of Lakers, Utah, and the Knicks. I think none of us, or 4-team trade that they were trying to throw in to bring Kyrie to LA.
Oh, no, I didn't hear the 4-team variety.
Yeah, they had again, this is one of those, like, not mock ones, but, like, theoretically what might really make it happen because Utah can get numerous things from different people, right?
Right.
It doesn't all have to be put on the Knicks' shoulders. Again, like I said, whatever gets me Donovan Mitchell, I don't give a fuck at this point. I just need Donovan Mitchell. I don't sleep. I keep turning into that fucking Dwayne Wade commercial, thinking about Donovan Mitchell, right? Thinking about him being on the team. I wake up in cold sweats, just like, did it happen? Shit. It's just a dream. God damn it. So I just need it. At this point, I just want it over with. I want it to happen, and I want to move forward.
I'm 100% frustrated with the whole situation, but I also try not to think about it because like it's nicer when I'm like it's like out of my mind, and then news comes, and it's like all the greatest feeling in the world, the euphoric. So I try to like not think about it, but the people bring it up all the fucking time, so it's hard to forget. And it's like I get it. We know the problem. Let it just go into fucking camp at this point, and just see where it goes.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be like wrestling. They're gonna be doing the lineups for the first game, and you're just gonna hear, "Oh my God, that's Donovan Mitchell from the third row." He comes, rips off his sweats, runs onto the court.
That's an entrance. Because no one knew it was gonna happen.
Yo, if we're down 3 in the fourth quarter and this motherfucker jumps out,
he walks out.
He walks out like Jordan, and he's just like, "Give me the ball." It's like, where the fuck did you come from? Yeah. Like, what? It's like, don't worry about it. But like, Grimes just disappeared.
He's gonna pull the Willis Reed. He just comes out in the middle of the game. He's hobbling for no reason. Like
you just see Quentin Grimes turn into Spider-Man from Infinity War. Tibbs, I don't feel so good. It's just like, I traded you. That's why you're going to Utah. The fuck out of here, kid. All right, let's move into football before we get out of here. Didge, this is giving us options. Okay. Mac Jones continues to struggle in practice ahead of preseason game against the Giants. How worried should we be? Well, I'll say this. Hearing the beat writers today.
I didn't look today.
They were saying that today the offensive line was playing a little bit better. Cole Strange was making a lot of really good blocks.
That's good.
But apparently, practice at one point today was so bad that David Andrews got into a fight with Matthew Judon.
Oh, well.
And Mac Jones jumped into it. And apparently the fight was over David Andrews just being frustrated with how poorly the offense was playing.
Did you hear him? Was that Friday maybe? They were asking you about the offensive struggles, and he just sounded like he was so close to being done. He sounded like he was just going to be like, fuck
from
y'all.
From a guy who woke up every morning and went, I got Tom Brady, to waking up and going, I got Cam Newton? And then from going, I think I got Mac Jones. I think I got this guy. That's a guy that's been through the ringer, right?
Yeah.
Super Bowl every year. You're feeling good. Everything's going great. And then Cam. And then Mac. And then you're just like, this is full rebuild. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. So I can understand. They did say Tyquan Thornton had a really great day. He was the only one blowing by corners. Apparently, our linebackers are looking really good. Our corners are looking really good. Apparently, Terrence Mitchell is trying to become fucking Stephon Gilmore of this team. Apparently, he's looking really fucking good out there. So shout out to Terrence Mitchell. I don't know what to be stressed about. Because two things. One, we do know when it comes to practice, sometimes the media is not given full access to practice, right? That's one. Two, you could be trying out new things with no Josh McDaniels and essentially no fucking offensive coordinator. So it's like you got Mac Jones out there playing backyard football, the game, but in real life, right? Like he's fucking Pablo out there of let me dig a hole underground and pop back out and catch the football. They're just trying shit at this point. So I'm like, I don't know if I should be excited with how great our defense sounds or terrified with how bad the offense sounds. So what I mean by that is, does our defense just sound good because the offense is horrible? Or is the offense horrible because the defense is so fucking good? I have no spectrum of what to believe here. So it's just leaving me in a flux of Thursday is pivotal.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. This will be our first view at what's really going on. So that's when I'll know if I need to be extremely worried or if it's, that's just the ins and outs of training camp.
And now, as me putting all that pressure I put on Mac Jones, now what really stresses me so much is if this Zappy kid was any good, right? Was any good. Like this kid was really, jumped on the scene, doing some really good things. It sounds like Mac's job is not that solidified. That if we had a backup that was worth a damn, that could really challenge him, it might be a competition. That is a horrible prospect to think about.
That's terrifying.
In your second year, there's a possibility that let's say if New England signed Tyrod Taylor, There might be a real fucking quarterback competition right now, Didge.
Yeah,
that's
scary.
Fucking
terrifying.
That's scary, and that's why I told you the pressure I put more so on him, because if you're Bill, you could retire tomorrow, and that legacy is submitted. But if you're Mac, you're trying to build it. So if you're not progressing and you're regressing, the pressure is on you, kid. The pressure is on you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, this is Didge. Like, Didge. Now, look, I tell you what, New England fucks up and make me have to depend on my happiness being the Mets making the World Series. I'm going to be really fucking upset. I'm going to be really
I guess
upset.
That's fair. At least I got the
I'm going to be really upset.
But, I mean, I'm going to, like I said, I want to see preseason first. I'm going to trust Bill Belichick, and I swear, if he's really regressing, I don't know what to do. We got to...
Hey, we might... You know what, Didge? Look, it's something me and you never necessarily thought about, me and you never wanted to do. We might pack our bags and go to Tampa. We might fuck it for a year. Until New England figures shit out. Go with Brady. We're gonna go stay with Dad this weekend. We're tired of living with Mom here. This shit is crazy. We're gonna stay with Dad for a little bit. We're gonna go to Dad Brady.
Hilarious.
See what's going on over there. We're gonna see.
No, Mike.
No,
Mike.
Hell no. You made your bed. You will sleep in that shit.
Though
okay?
I don't think Jordan Love is as bad as advertised right now. No.
Well, guess what? It's very easy to not be advertised as bad when Aaron Rodgers is the cologne to mask the stench of Jordan Love. No one's paying attention to Jordan Love because Aaron Rodgers is still there.
But I think people forget about how Aaron Rodgers looked his first few times.
That's
coming
very
in.
fair. That's very fair. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Here's the problem, right? Here's the problem. Problem is, if you're a Packers fan, you did that once, and it turned out great. You're not willing to do that shit again.
Well, eventually you're gonna have to.
But you want to turn it over to somebody that can at least keep things going, right? Not being a multiple MVP and first round exit, right? Because we know that's the bar for Green Bay. But we know that at least Aaron Rodgers can get you there. He just needs more reps. Watch him in preseason. I will watch him in preseason. But I tell you this, they were shackling themselves to Aaron Rodgers' leg in the offseason. So I'm not sure how much your organization has faith in Jordan Love. Because they're just like, oh, no, you can't go. No, you can't go. No. We'll do whatever you want. But yeah, I'm very scared for New England. So Joel, our last topic here, I want to pass it to you for you to lead me and Dig in this conversation. This is a two-parter for you, right? Already knowing off the bat that the Giants are going to start off 0-1 for preseason, right? Do you believe... I'm sorry, was that not already known? I'm sorry. You'll start 0-1 in preseason. But I saw this as... Wait, say it again?
Preseason.
Yeah, start 0-1 in preseason. Yeah.
Good luck. Yeah, you beat Davis Webb. Good job.
You never know. We might beat Daniel Jones. You don't know. That motherfucker might need some more reps.
The game is not over in the first quarter. So you're going to beat Davis Webb.
I'm just saying. Mac Jones, and it might be the battle of the Joneses for reps come Thursday. You never know, Joel. But all jokes aside, my serious question is, Joel, looking at the division that you're in, right, that I believe is still one of the most questionable divisions in all of the NFL, do you believe the Giants can win this division this year?
No, I do not.
Wow, really?
No, yeah, I know.
I was going to lead with yes. But okay, go ahead.
I hope you're right. I'm not telling you.
Joel's like, I'm not going to get you.
If anything, that's exactly what I'd love. But no, I don't. There's too many question marks in New York right now. I would love that to be the case, but like just on paper, it looks like Philly and Dallas are better. Washington might be better, but like I need to see it. Like I think we have the talent. It's just, can the talent do what I expect them to do? A lot of it has to do with Daniel Jones.
All I'm saying is I'm looking
in our training camp. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Mike. Yes, let me just go through this. Shout out to you, Mike. I love you so much, Mike, for bringing up the schedule. We're talking about what's his
Bears.
Name? What's the fucking name that's the quarterback for the Bears? The kid, Justin Fields. Justin Fields. Jared Goff.
That might be a win.
Right? Jared Goff, And we don't know if this is in order. We don't know. We're just going to name the quarterbacks.
I don't think it's in order.
So let's go. Justin
Maybe,
Fields. You got to pay Justin Fields. You got to pay. You got to play.
A lot of maybes.
Jared Goff. You got to play Matt Ryan.
It's not a bad schedule. You're right.
You got to play Davis Mills, either Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold. Lamar Jackson, if that motherfucker can stay healthy by whatever fucking date that game is. Dak Prescott, right? Then you go. You don't even know if Carson Wentz is starting, right? We're hoping Carson Wentz may start. That might be a win of its own. But in between there, you're talking about a kid I'm not even sure has it yet. He may develop it over the course of this year, but I don't believe in the Eagles quarterback. I don't believe in him at all.
Hey, we beat him last year, and we have, I swear, the worst offense I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. They had negative offense for a game, Didge. Like, that Giants team was trying to do some historic shit.
I've never seen anything like that.
They played the Ravens week 6, by the way. I'm looking at it week by week.
Oh, then there you go. Who knows if Lamar's healthy by then? And then you go Aaron Rodgers, that's of course a loss. You're going Kirk Cousins, that's up in the air. You're going Trevor Lawrence, that's up in the air. You're going Ryan Tannehill, that's up in the air. And then you're going whoever they pick from the crowd to be the fucking quarterback for Seattle. And then you're going divisional games. So I'm like, Joel, that is a season if Daniel Jones can just clock manage. That's a very favorable schedule. At worst, you're losing Ravens, you're losing the Vikings game, you're losing the Green Bay game, and I'll even give you one of your divisional games you lose. To who? I don't give a fuck. One of them, right? One of them.
Here's the fucking Eagles.
One of them you might lose. But to me, Didge, I don't think it's far-fetched to believe that they can win this division. I'm not saying they're gonna make a run and go to the Super Bowl, but to be fair, the last 2 fucking times I said that, they did just that. So I'm like, I don't even fucking know, but I think they can at least win their division, because that is not a schedule that I look at and I go, those are world beaters. That's all I'm saying. So Didge, I want to go to you before we go back to Joel. What do you think they can win this division? And again, I'm talking. Even if you want to regress it, Didge, to just winning just their division, right? Where they just have a winning record against the Eagles, Cowboys, in Washington. Do you think that – and again, to be fair, I'm passing it to somebody that said Baker can win 10 games. Fuck out of here. Maybe 7, but those 3 games, that's a no. Those extra 3 games, that's where I draw the line. But, Didge, what do you think the likelihood is for the Giants to win this division?
So before I answer that, Joel, how healthy is Saquon?
He's as healthy as I've ever seen him, honest.
Yeah. I think that's going to be their linchpin. If Saquon can stay healthy, yeah. The NFC East is not that great of a division. I'd say their ceiling is probably 9 games, which I think can win the NFC East. Mm-hmm. More than likely, knowing Saquon can't stay healthy, I'm going to say 6-7 games.
I said 6 or 7 too, but I don't expect that to be winning the division.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, at that point, no. I think you need those 9 games and Saquon to be healthy to win a division.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. This schedule is favorable.
Their schedule is crazy favorable.
Yeah, it really depends on how well we do against our division.
Yeah.
And yeah, that I'm not comfortable with yet. But I mean, like I said, I think we have the talent. It's just there's a lot of question marks. I don't know what I'm going to get from Daniel Jones with this new offense yet. I think it's going to be the best offense we've seen in all 3 years that he's been in the league. But I need to see that. You know what I mean? It's one thing. I've also seen him at the worst offense. And I've seen now he got hurt at the end of last year. That's when it was really the worst offense. I've never seen it. That was terrible. But I like the coaching staff. You know, I think there's potential for this team to be good in the future. I just don't know if it's going to be this year. We have like at least 5 rookies that are going to be in the starting between the offense and defense. You know what I mean? It's a lot.
I'm just saying, I think the Giants should not be afraid, especially because you didn't pick up his option. You should not be afraid to just make Daniel Jones into a clock manager, right? You use Saquon to put you in favorable positions to where Daniel Jones just has to make a couple of throws, right? And Saquon kind of helps bring it all home. And you're essentially telling Daniel Jones every game, right? You're pulling him to the side personally and go, hey,
Just don't fuck this up.
Don't fuck this up.
That's all you gotta tell them.
We got a defense that I believe can come into its own, make these games favorable, right? Because I believe that the Giants shouldn't give up any more than 2 touchdowns in the course of that entire schedule. No more than that. No more than that. You're only playing 2 quarterbacks. I look at and I go, well, they're gonna break that.
Yeah, but we don't have
Lamar
the
and
strongest
Aaron
secondary and shit. You know what I mean?
You don't. But Joel, here's the funny thing: when you won the 2 Super Bowls, you didn't have the greatest corners either, but you had a front 5 that was
at least veteran corners. You know what I mean?
Sure, but Joel, no, your heart was your front 5. That was your heart of your defense. Was your front 5. They made your secondary's job a lot easier.
Yeah,
right. Because receivers didn't even have time to run out of their routes before Brady had to get the ball out.
Yeah, I like our front line a lot,
and I'm a big Martinez fan. I like Martinez.
I love Blake Martinez.
I love Blake Martinez. So I can't wait to see what progression he makes. But if Daniel Jones can just turn himself into a clock manager and your defense steps up, I believe you can win your division. Now, if that means you make the playoffs, who knows? I don't know how things work anymore in the NFL. But to me, I think you could win your division 100%. Yeah. I really do. I don't look at Dallas losing Amari Cooper, where now CeeDee Lamb is the guy, right?
And they just lost. And then you go Washington too,
right? And then you go. Obviously, Washington's going to have problems with Carson Wentz. That's just Carson Wentz. And then Dallas, I really don't have any faith in Dak Prescott. I really just don't. I don't. Sorry, I don't. I don't trust him.
He's the best quarterback in the division at the moment.
I think that's not necessarily saying much. I don't think you have world beaters there that you're like, well, he is just ahead of them, man. Like he's just like no.
Yeah, there's no world beaters in our division.
No, not at all. I'd give Dak Prescott props if he was the best quarterback in the AFC West.
We might have the best kicker.
Like if he was the best in the AFC. Wait, the best kicker in football?
No, in the division.
Oh, I'll give you that. Yeah, I'll give you that. I was about to say no. Justin Tucker by far is the best kicker in all of the NFL. Still,
don't be sleeping on Gano. Gano's nasty.
I'm not, but Justin Tucker hit a 64-yard field goal to win a game. Like that motherfucker's filthy. He's Pele. He's the fucking soccer player out there. That motherfucker's otherworldly.
Yeah, we have a very new punter. Apparently, he's Scottish too. So we have 2 Scots.
We actually just re-signed our punter, Jake Bailey.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah, we re-upped on Jake Bailey. Which, by the way, really
Justin
quickly,
Tucker hit a 66-yarder. That's the newer record. He had a 64, but he hit a 66.
Yeah, Joel, that's the best kicker. But really quickly, because I forgot to bring this up for New England, Didge. Apparently, they're utilizing Jonathan Jones as a. They're taking him out of the slot. He's been playing a lot on the edge. Because apparently that Jack Jones, our rookie, is playing really fucking good in the slot.
They're going to start him in the slot? I mean, they're going to start him outside, you said?
They might start Jonathan Jones outside. Which to me, I wouldn't have any problems with.
That's essentially CB1. That's what it sounds like he's trending.
Well, apparently CB1 is going to be Jalen Mills. Jalen Mills.
Oh, I did hear that. That's right. I did hear that.
Jalen Mills would be CB1.
Terrence Mitchell
might be CB2. CB3 might be Jonathan Jones. I don't really know where Malcolm Butler falls in any of this shit.
I heard he's been getting torched in camp.
Especially when he's on Tyquan Thornton.
I just checked I mean, not that this is always accurate, but I just checked the Patriots depth chart the other day. And right now they had Terrence Mitchell and Mills and Jones as the corners.
Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, like New England every year, none of that ever matters, right?
Nope.
Like none of that matters.
Yeah, I mean, but I like to go by depth charts.
I'm hearing that Damian Harris might not be a long stay. They might be transitioning it to Ramondre Stevenson.
Tell you right now,
and looking to trade Damian Harris.
That sounds like the Patriots to me.
Yeah,
it comes to
because they don't want to pay him. They don't want to pay him. So I'm like, well, you gotta. And apparently, they might use Montgomery as a Swiss Army knife. Might use him some as running back, some as wide receivers. Some
they've been wanting. That's what he does pretty much everywhere he goes.
Right.
So it's not far fetched.
No, not at all. And not even to mention, Didge, we didn't even talk about James White. I don't even know the fuck that. James White and Malcolm Butler to me are the massive question marks on this team.
Well, James White, I think isn't he still on the? Is he still on the injury list? I don't think he.
No, he's back.
Is he back? Oh, then I have no idea.
I don't know either. They just drafted a kid on top of having Ramondre and Damian Harris, right? And then you're talking about using Ty as a Swiss Army knife. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with this offense. But you know what would help it? Is if I knew who the fuck the offensive coordinator was.
Yeah.
I don't even know who the fuck that is. God damn, I hate when Bill goes out there and is like, offensive coordinator, what's that? Bill, you know what the fuck that is. Like, tell us, goddammit. So we got somebody to hang this on. You asshole. But yeah, I'm very afraid. But again, look, this is a good game Thursday for all three of us, right? Because you got 2 Patriots fans, 1 Giant fans. A lot of things should be made known.
Yeah. We got our official depth chart yesterday, so we got an idea of who's going to start at the very least. Or who at least is currently in the lead for, first teams. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I look forward to seeing, as long as they're healthy, I do look forward to seeing a couple snaps in the first quarter to see how everyone looks, and then even my second and third teams. We had like a big practice the other day, like a fan event at the MetLife.
Yeah, and my cousin went out there.
Yeah,
I saw a Daniel Jones pass there that did not go so well.
Not everything's perfect. So yeah. One pass you're gonna hold it against them.
No, but it was just somebody was. It was one of my friends who's a Giants fan. I don't know if he was there or somebody just sent it to him, but he was like, "Let me show you how the Giant season is gonna go." And he just sent that pass.
Yo, but Joel said that shit like throwing wasn't important to his game. Like, things happen. Like,
I told you he's struggling in the camp. I understand. We have the same issue. Like, our quarterback is dead in the water at the moment unless he proves it otherwise.
Yeah,
and I'd say your situation is a little worse. That was a number 8 pick.
8, 15.
That's number 8.
Yeah, but that's an old regime, so it's not as bad.
That is true.
Yeah,
this is not their quarterback technically. This is like you want to stick around, you got to prove it.
Right.
You want this money? Make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Do that.
Basically, yeah.
Make the playoffs. So yeah, but I'm very excited for this Zappy kid. That's our quarterback that we drafted.
That's the one that was he played like D2 first, right? And then set a bunch of records as a grad transfer.
Yeah, so I want to see what he has to offer.
I don't know much about him.
I want to at least look at that motherfucker and go, "Hey, can you maybe
can you
Mac
potentially
like, can you maybe start something? Like, you good? Like, I need to see this. You any good? No. At least, Joel, you have a life preserver, right? You can go, all right, Daniel, you are ass. Tyrod, right? Like, we don't even have that. I hate to think that I have to look over and go, Brian Hoyer.
I forgot he is still there.
Brian Hoyer, yeah. Wasn't he there last year too? Was he not the backup?
He's been there like the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. Really? Brian Hoyer always seems to make his way back to New England.
I remember New England played Kansas City, where New England held Kansas City to 10 points for 3 quarters. And Brian Hoyer was so horrible, we had to bring in fucking Jared Stidham at that point. That lets you know everything you need to know about.
I think he's in Buffalo, Stidham, right now.
He is in Buffalo. Because he could not cut it in New England. So Buffalo only signed him because they're like, well, we'll never need another quarterback. But in case, here you go. Right? Like, I guarantee you he gets no reps. Not even second reps. No reps. They tell him, don't even touch a fucking football.
Is he in Buffalo? Because Buffalo also has, I know they also have Mitch Trubisky, right?
Nope. Mitch Trubisky is in Steelers.
Yeah, he's in Pittsburgh.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Not might. I think that guy's going to start.
Yeah.
Just not to put the pressure on Pickett. I think they'll let him start. And then if Mitchell Trubisky turns out to be Bears Mitchell Trubisky, Pickett will play. Pickett will definitely play.
I know they also have Case Keenum, though, too, and Matt Barkley, I thought, was there. So they have Jarrett Stidham as well? Why are they running 4 quarterbacks?
I can check, fool.
They have 4 quarterbacks because they're one of the only franchises in the NFL that looks at their other quarterbacks and goes, no. Coach, can we practice? No.
All right, so quarterback. Oh, you're right. It is Case Keenum and Matt Barkley. It's not Stidham.
Okay, so Stidham isn't there anymore.
Stidham is not in New England. Where did he go?
I don't know. I'm about to search.
I would have to look. Yeah.
He might be a free agent. He's on the Raiders.
Raiders.
No,
That
Raiders.
makes sense. Yes, that makes sense. Josh McDaniels. Yeah, Josh McDaniels. That makes sense. Yeah, that's another place that he looks over at Jarrett Stidham and goes, no, you don't get to do any practice reps. I don't want you touching the football on that maybe put some bad juju on our starter. So no, don't touch shit.
He's a
yeah, that makes sense. Josh McDaniels wanting a backup that he knows. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's why Brian Hoyer is still in the NFL. Bill wants a backup he knows, and apparently that's the only motherfucker, right? That's the only guy. Unless he dusts off Matt Castle, Brian Hoyer is the only motherfucker, right? That's it.
Matt Castle.
Where'd you come from?
Matt Castle is somewhere enjoying life.
Yeah,
Matt Castle actually, I
one
believe.
Season, man.
Oh wow! Somebody just put out a report. I don't know who this person necessarily is, but apparently Lakers are now willing to give up 2 picks for Kyrie.
Well, good.
He's apparently the guy who said this is apparently the beat writer for the Lakers.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, the beat writer for the Athletic, but he only covers the Lakers.
He covers the Lakers.
Yeah, he covers the Lakers.
Really? Let's see.
That's confusing because it's like, well, why were you holding on to those 2 picks so
tightly?
tightly?
Man, yeah.
Like,
Because that would give them nothing. That's why they would have literally, if LeBron were to retire, you have no picks.
Here's the thing: LeBron retires anyway with those 2 picks because they're so fucking far out. You'd still have nothing,
right?
So it's like that doesn't solve your problems necessarily. It just gives you a gauge of saying, okay,
but it's
only
better
got to
than
suck
having,
for 3 years.
Something is better than nothing. They have nothing. That's the problem. You know what I mean?
I get you.
Even if it's the 30th pick, there's some value there. No pick.
But to me, if you have no picks, the best way to kind of fix that, if LeBron just decides to leave, flip AD. Yeah, you got to flip AD. You got to flip AD.
Everything. Flip.
And you got to flip him before the season starts. So teams can't say, hey, he ain't healthy. It's like, well, you don't know. You don't know.
You don't
Season
know.
ain't start. Yeah, you don't know. Fucking guess
He might be healthy.
Yeah, he might be great. Might play a whopping 22 games. You never know. But that's really all we got. I really hope the Lakers are able to do it because maybe if Kyrie goes, that'll kind of quicken up Durant going.
We just need shit to start moving.
Yeah, we just need it to go. Right? Maybe Kyrie going kind of gives an avalanche to Danny Ainge and Donovan goes, and we just, whole world's where it needs to be. But yeah, I'm very excited. I will be texting you guys constantly for Thursday's game because
it's on NFL Network, right?
Actually, it's on NBC.
Ooh.
It is on NFL Network. Yes, to answer your question, yes, but they're showing it on both. Ooh. So for anyone that's local, I think they'll black out the NFL Network, and you'll have to watch it on NBC. But because you're not in the tri-state area, Didge, it'll be available either or.
It wouldn't be the opposite for you guys? I thought they you might be right.
A national channel like NBC, you can't block out. You can't block that out.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah, you can't block that out. So they'll block out the NFL because they do it with me and Joel whenever the Knicks play. Like they'll block out NBA TV, and then you'll go, all right, well the only places to watch it is MSG. Okay, cool. But here's the sucky part about that. There's some cable companies that don't have MSG. So it's like, well, I want to hear Mike and Clyde. I don't fucking want to hear Richard Jefferson ever. Like,
yeah, one or twice a year, we're stuck listening to ESPN instead of our local guys. And it's I hate it here.
They always make sure they give us the shittiest broadcasting team when they do it. It's just like, I'm sorry, why am I listening to Pablo, whatever his fucking name is? Why am I listening to this guy? Where's the threesome that we like, right? Where's Mike? Where's fucking, right? Like, where are the guys? We're the gods of this thing.
Yeah, we were blessed with one of the best play-by-play guys. We want to hear him all the time.
All the time. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. I'll take Doris Burke over anybody else. Like, give me Doris, right? She's at least somewhat of a Knicks fan. So there's no just like, well, you fucking suck. I don't understand why you're even on TV. That's what we get from everybody else on ESPN. Let's make sure Doris Burke is there.
Yeah.
But all right, I want to thank everybody in the comment section. Grant, I'm trying to see who else. There was one other person. I can't scroll up for some reason. Oh, nope, I can. I just didn't try. Skunk Prime and Grant, you guys were awesome. Somebody named Novice. I don't really know who that person is. The picture
I don't know, but he had a great point.
Yeah, but whoever that fan is, I don't know who that fan is.
Doesn't care. Bucks in 6. He had a very great point.
Yeah, and apparently they're painting their nails. So, Yeah, shout out to Novice. I don't really know who that person is, but we
Yeah.
appreciate the comments.
He sounds like a noob.
No, but all jokes aside, we thank Mike always for working the board, setting everything up, helping these podcasts flow as greatly as they do. We also want to thank Didge and Joel for joining me as always. And like we say every single week since the start of NBA's new season, I just want some of these things to just be done with. I just do.
And we're
Because I
getting
feel
the
like
NFL too now. Roquan Smith just asked for a trade. We didn't get a chance to get to that.
He did. He asked for a trade, and I need New England to pick up that phone. I never have a problem with the surplus of linebackers.
Right?
Never an issue for me, and that's a really good fucking linebacker to have. And you know New England to do some real dog shit. Like, hey, you want our 10th pick in the draft? And the Bears like, there's not 10 picks in the draft. Do you want the pick or not? God damn it. Fuck. I'll keep it.
You don't want the 13th. You don't want our 13th round
like
pick.
no
You don't want the 142nd pick. Like, you don't want this. And it's like, well, wait a minute. If Bill values it, maybe I do want it. It's like, yeah, you want it. Take it. Take that and some cigarettes, and let's get this guy over here. But we'll definitely be able to talk more about it, Didge, because I guarantee you he'll find a new home by next week.
For
I
sure.
don't think they'll let it drag out.
Yeah, I felt like I don't particularly care for the Bears. I didn't like. I
don't give a shit at all. I only cared about it because I heard New England beat writers like, this is the perfect pick for us.
I did see that.
Well, I'm not against it. So just, if you hear anything else about it, put it in the group chat so we can make sure we talk about it next week. But guys, make sure you stay tuned for the Last Scare podcast this Thursday, where they will be breaking down their thoughts on the Predator movies.
Woo!
Rooting for the Bears' downfall every day of my life. Every day of my life. But yes, the Last Scare will be breaking down the Predator movies. So make sure you guys tune in for that. That's going to be awesome. And also make sure you guys stay tuned. We got some stuff coming out this weekend. We'll let you know the closer we get to the weekend. But we are not far from She-Hulk. So the MCR will return for us to break down some She-Hulk. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And as I did promise, we will find a day this week or sometime next week for us to break down season 1 of Sandman. I promise you guys. AJ just has his hands full with Andor and now She-Hulk, so he has to get that done, and then we can.
I want to have my hands full with She-Hulk. How can I get my hands full with She-Hulk?
I mean, I'll make some calls, Joel. I'll make some calls to see what I can do. What were you gonna say, Didge?
I gotta finish Sandman.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I don't think it'll necessarily be this week. It might be next week, just to let it, because it came out on a Friday, so you kind of want to.
That was the thing. Yeah, I would have watched it this weekend, but obviously being at C2E2 all weekend, and I wanted to watch Prey first.
Right, C2E2.
Prey was the right way to go. You were not wrong. But yes, make sure you guys are going to youtube.com/thelast-scare. Make sure you're commenting, liking, and subscribing to that page, and make sure you guys got your reminder set for every Thursday for when the Last Scare goes live. But again, we thank you all. Until next time, peace.
Us.